Somehow the world will change for me. It'd be so wonderful. Anyway, welcome back. Do what?
Stop recording.
Stop recording.
Cut.
We're done.
We need to retry that.
Welcome back.
What were we doing? You raised me up, guys.
Take two.
Welcome back to The Legend of Cedric Swords, Episode 4. Last we left off, the party had left Fenrir's hold after fighting a death knight, and basically fleeing from the snow-covered streets of the westernmost populous city in Paulist. On the run, not quite on the run, but definitely not in good standing with some of the law. The party made their way north to Beniavitz to search for their misplaced benefactor Simon Sealdove. Along the way, Zarek, a long-standing member of Cedric Swords, parted ways.
Goodbye.
And after meeting one of Zarek's compatriots, Roman Coldfire, they sort of switched places, and Zarek went off to learn more about himself and about his mysterious god Eroshinau. Roman, after joining the party with his tinkering cart of magical stuff, made camp for the evening, and after a few nights of keeping watch in the surrounding areas, the party had noticed a group of wolves slowly tracking their party. On this third night of your 5-day trek to the city of Diremarsh, north of Fenrir's Hold in the Mudlark Valley, you find yourselves along the road and with some noises of wolves outside your encampment. The only people who are currently awake at the moment are Roman and Morty, who is keeping watch at the moment. So while Morty, you do kind of pick up on the of snapping branches. Roland, you are currently in your cart right now, and you're tinkering away on your mechanical horse head.
Yes.
At the moment, you don't hear anything outside of your cart, but you are aware of these three. Were you able to see them?
Do I know it's three? Or I just hear a random crunching in the direction? Perception.
Go ahead and roll a perception check. I think you rolled last time, but go ahead and roll a new perception check. And this is to glean where the noises are coming from.
16.
16? So yeah, you are able to pick up. It's not necessarily that they're being
So it'd be on my back, so I could
extra covert. Yeah, or if you wanted to be on the other side of the cart, you could be on the other side of the cart too.
I've actually I was planning to face this direction, be on the side.
So you do hear it coming from behind you then, as you hear these they are defined three separate entities that you were able to hear.
Stranger, you hear that? We've got company.
I just poke my head out the back. I'm like covered in grease.
Yeah.
What? Company.
Oh, 1 sec. And I'll,
Not the family's kind.
Oh, well, but 1 sec still.
And I guess I'll go around the wagon, the cart, to the side I've heard it.
I'll just hop out the back of the cart and, do I see them? I'll be out the back.
After a brief moment, Morty kind of does point out these three, what appear to be large wolves.
So, from the previous
stalking you.
Couple night watches ago, when I saw that wolf that got me off guard, does anyone look familiar?
One of them does look familiar.
It's in the middle, left or right?
In the middle one, there does seem to be somewhat familiar.
No, I'm like, am I able to pick out like these the alpha? Or at this back?
Make a nature check.
Multicultural myth, bruh. Look it up. That's good.
21.
21? He is not the alpha. Based on their movements and the way that this one in particular is moving, you can tell that these three are more scouts than anything.
I'm just gonna go ahead and just pull out my short bow
Okay.
just to get ready.
Okay. At the moment, they
Alright.
seem to notice that you notice them, and they are no longer advancing. They are kind of in place at the moment.
So
You hear the
when you
soft
speak
snarl.
when you speak with animals, you say, "I recognize you from before." To the one exactly, the one in the middle.
The one in the middle just kind of crosses its back
It's
legs.
cocked by my short bow. What is it you want?
And kind of looks to the other two. It begins backing up.
Go ahead and just go shoot. Shoot at it.
Roll an attack.
Nice.
Nice. I have the wrong spell sheet. I was going to do something, but I have the
It's
wrong
supposed to be a base
sheet.
too.
No, that doesn't hit. Yeah, as it just kind of sails by, you watch as the direwolf just kind of walks.
Oh,
It continues backing up. It doesn't seem particularly threatened.
I would like
I'm
to
gonna take a 2 steps forward and repeat.
use the racial feature and summon a little mote of blue flame in my hand. It will illuminate the area 10 feet.
Okay. Yeah. You watch as this blue warm
shit.
energy begins encompassing the surrounding area outside the cart. And as you go ahead and roll for another attack.
I'm just advancing forward.
Oh, you're just
so
advancing,
just
so it's not
reloading
like-
and reloading at the same time.
Okay.
Like I said, I just repeated myself. I'm like, why is it you're here?
You watch as they continue to back up. You see this one moves to about right there, and then this one moves to about.
So in Tipton, I'm gonna go ahead. Same things too forward. Go ahead and moonbeam that fucking.
Moonbeam, sure, go for it.
That, I believe it's a save. I believe.
Yeah, we'll check that too.
I'm getting some good rest right now, so.
You just,
Yeah, y'all
like,
are just
all
chilling.
snuggled up.
Y'all just.
This is a nice hut.
It's temperature regulated, so that means
Constitution saving
Yeah.
throw. What's your spell save? DC?
17.
17. It's gonna be a 19. It does save. So
Son of a bitch.
it takes half damage on that. So 2d10 half.
Yeah.
You roll. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead and roll damage on that. And go ahead and roll initiative because you are now engaged with it.
Sweet. That'd be 3 damage.
3 damage.
I
Okay.
have the wrong spell sheet.
That was a nice
And I
save.
rolled 15 for initiative.
Okay.
You had someone we do
Just went through all of them.
same problem.
Alright, trying to.
I don't know where it went though, because I thought it was with the sheet. I thought I had them both right here.
Careful. Make sure your stats aren't on the map. That direwolf is on your
Oh.
map, or is on your thing right now.
He's
Yeah.
He's taking them.
The game is rigged. Yes. I am the false prophet.
I am the false prophet.
Yeah. What was your initiative?
17.
17?
That was a 6.
Gasp.
I also can't seem to find my spell sheet.
That's a 6 for you, Roman?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I found mine like in the place I checked before. That's weird.
They're not.
So, at the top of the round, and y'all are all, the rest of y'all are asleep. At the top of the round, this one is going to back up to. It's going to back up. This one is also going to back up. And that's going to end their turn. It is your turn now. You watch as these wolves, after you fire off a shot and then pull a beam of lunar energy down, and it seems to kind of graze the hindquarters of the one to your right. They kind of begin, not necessarily. Go ahead and make a perception check for me real quick, actually.
Ten.
10. Yeah, you watch as they just begin backing up. They're still looking at you, it looks like, so they're kind of just kind of
More
backing
faster
up.
pace than
Yeah.
before.
And that's going to bring us to your turn.
Movement, I'm kind of like, can I stick my head in the hut?
Yeah.
Stick my head. Wake up, guys! Company!
Alright, so the rest of you are kind of jolted awake, and
And I
Those-
put
those
me
people-
just pull my head back.
those of you who have not taken a long rest yet do not get any benefits from your long rest until you return.
This better be good.
So you still have all your burnt spell slots. But you
You have
all your burnt- all your burnt
Whoever chooses to come, really, it's really a choice. You don't have to come out.
you're
like,
you say that, you're like, wake up, guys. But,
I mean, like, not-
only if you really want to. though.
guys,
That's-
there's danger.
Yo, what's up?
I mean, like, whoever wants to help watch, come quick. If not needed,
I need to
Stay.
stay in this small hut.
do that.
Okay.
It's shelter. Anyone else who is a good hand, doesn't need it, come forward. If not, fuck it.
Alright. So the rest of you.
Where the one keep on back away, this one right here?
It's not that one's turn yet. We haven't come to that one's turn.
Alright, cool. So,
Had time.
last movement. Was that action to talk?
Yeah, it's going to be your action to talk to get them all. But
Okay,
you do
so-
have a bonus action if you want to use a bonus action.
Yeah, that's gonna be sad.
Okay.
Going to-
And with the rest of y'all waking up, if you are entering combat, go ahead and roll initiative as well.
11.
11.
Also 11. Let's be the common. Here, stop reading my spell list. 19.
19.
Yeah.
What are we rolling for?
Initiative.
If you want to wake up and...
If you want to choose to scare off some wolves at night, fucking me.
Realistically, it's probably
14.
going to take 5 minutes anyway to just go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. So after what is that in your turn?
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to tree them.
Roman is going to bring us to your turn.
I'm holding a mote of fire in my
Okay,
hand.
mode of fire. in your
So
turn.
I'll just yeet it at him.
Which one?
Let's see here.
Whoever's in the line of sight of it, right?
They're all fairly far away at this point. They've backed up quite a bit.
Yeah, they're quite
I guess you're right. Well, mote of fire here. Pull out the crossbow. As a bonus action, I'll activate a blood right.
Okay.
And I'll take 6 points of damage.
As you kind of prick yourself on
Yeah,
the
like I
ends-
just-
on this crossbow bolt.
All of a sudden it glows with a bright blue light. Lightning shoots down the side of it, and I'll take one shot at him.
Alright, which one? The red
The
one?
red one.
Red one? Okay, go for it.
It's a 18.
18, yeah, that hits.
It's a 6
points of
blood.
damage.
That's 6 points of piercing damage,
Yeah.
and then 8 points of lightning damage.
Alright. Watch this crackling lightning bolt. Quite literally, a lightning bolt arcs across the open field, and for a brief moment, the entire meadow at your camping right now is just lit up as this lightning streaks across and jams itself into the side of this dire wolf. And you watch as it and backs up even further. And go ahead and make a perception check for me, real quick.
This dice right here is like a roller coaster when you roll it. That's nice. 19.
19? Okay.
That's like, those look different. not the usual click-locks.
Not the usual complex.
So, in a brief moment that the surrounding areas are lit up, you are able to, if you don't mind scooching that stuff back just a bit, you're able to notice.
Oof. That's what I was thinking.
2 more different figures, still quadrupedal, wolfish-like, but their shape is, and it's only in the briefest of moments while this meadow is alit with this lightning bolt, you're able to see that they are different creatures. But you're not able to tell exactly what they are. And do you have anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
No, that's it for me.
All right, it's gonna bring us to
Like a cult.
Yeah.
gonna bring us
Very
to
important things here. Nothing.
this one's turn. It's going to go ahead and it's gonna go ahead and
Come at me, bro.
it's gonna go ahead and come around, and it's gonna go ahead and make a it's gonna go ahead and make back a bite attack. Ooh, that's gonna be a 23 to hit.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. It's gonna be 11 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Yeah, it's 5.
It's a 5. You are not prone. As this thing pounces on top of you and begins jamming its large maw into your shoulder, and you're for a moment, for an instant, you're not grappled, but you seem to be in the jaws of this giant wolf. As that brings us back to the top of the round. This one. 2. Right there. And you watch as
My snow sheet. I just rewrote it. Gotta watch our eyes as soon as we're done playing.
you watch as this out of your periphery. You watch as this large shadowy figure runs at you, and it looks strange. It looks where its body appears normal, its legs appear normal. It does have a tail, and you do see this thick black fur that covers this entire beast. But where its head should be, you see 2 large bulbous figures, as what it appears to be is slightly different than anything you've ever seen before. It appears to be a 2-headed dog bounding towards you, and it's going to go ahead and leap up, and it's going to make 2 bite attacks.
Let's say it's because
It's going to be a natural 20 for the first bite,
This is
and the
starting
next
to
one's
pass.
going to miss with an 8 or with a 9.
Second one will miss.
Yeah.
You're using Justin's auto crit rolls for that one.
You take 10 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, we're in for it now, boys.
Something's coming.
Strength
Something's
eight.
coming.
Flip it to the picture so I don't mess up my
Strength
character sheet.
shit.
Yeah.
I got another.
Says Constitution.
Constitution saving throw.
That's Gucci.
Well, that's called
21.
21. You feel for a moment as this maw clamps down on your arm as you're kind of shaking, you're having to shake it off. You do eventually shake it off, and you feel your arm go dead for a second, and you have to kind of. It's almost like someone has dead armed you.
Yeah,
So
but
you have to shake it off. It's gonna end its turn, and you watch. Can you go ahead?
I would like to use my reaction to use Hellish Rebuke. Because I forgot I had that. I might just use it on him, never mind.
No,
just wait.
You watch as this second figure, and you see both of the, it's the same figure. It's
It's
two-headed
another
dog.
two-headed dog. Nice.
Snap, snap. It's gonna make 2 bite attacks. It's gonna be a 17 to hit.
Hits.
Hit, and then the other one is going to be a 13 to hit.
Misses.
Alright, so it's going to be... Ooh, max damage. It's going to be 8 points of piercing damage, and I need to make another Constitution saving throw.
Another con.
Nat 20 for a 25.
Again, it's a bite on the other arm as you are
Seeing a pattern.
and you just kind of have to shake your arm from being numb again. And now these two, you see 4 heads, 4 dog heads are snapping at you all around at your heels.
This is nice.
It's gonna bring us to this one. It's gonna be its turn, and that's gonna bring us to Malachi. It is your turn. As you are, the first thing you see when you wake up is Morty's head pop into frame of this tiny hut that Vladimir has constructed, and it's yelling at you. And you
With the disclaimer.
wake up.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So, can I see outside at all? Am I aware of anything that's going on outside?
You can see outside. Yeah. So you
You
are.
did hear a very loud grunt.
Yeah.
That I can assure you.
Do you have dark vision?
No, I don't.
No. So you are currently.
Nope. There is 10 foot of light around me.
You still have the
I held
Gotcha.
that and I
So
I
you
used my
are
rose
able to
bow.
see. You're able to see. It's though a little bit obscured. You're able to see your new compatriot Roman. Though a stranger to you, Roman appears to be in a modicum amount of danger at the moment. And it's being attacked by 4. And it's a weird sign because you've never seen these before. But you see 2 bodies but 4 heads, 4 dog heads. Other than that, your vision is fairly limited. You do hear noises kind of further off, maybe about 30, 40, 50 feet off, of more figures, though you're not able to ascertain what they are at the moment. But you are able to see what is happening to Roman at the moment.
Cool. I'm definitely gonna move out of the hut.
Okay.
So I can't see this over here. It's obscured.
It's you can see shapes, but you're not able to really see what's going on at the moment. You see just kind of these black amorphous figures. Bless you.
Thank you. Cool. Move 20 feet. I'm gonna. Malachi's gonna ready his hand crossbow, and since I can see Roman over here, I'm gonna take a shot at this trigger right here.
Sure. Go ahead and roll for an attack.
Does he get advantage on that because it's engaged and he's a bro? Sneaky.
Yeah, you do get sneak attack. It's engaged with an ally that is within 5 feet of it.
Nice. Got it. Nice. Nice. 14 hit.
14 hits.
Oh, yes.
Oh, thank God. Help me, sir. You're the only one who spoke to me.
That's right. 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. Okay. And that's with including your sneak attack. Yeah. So you kind of trying to suss out what these figures in front of you are. You turn back around to the ones you can't see and fire off. Watch as it kind of snaps into the arm, the shoulder of one of these. You watch as one of the heads, the other one's still engaged with one of the heads, kind of turns around, snaps it down, splits it down, and is now snarling at you. So they're kind of looking at both Roman and you now.
Yeah.
And is that going to be the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right. And that's going to bring us to Badger. First thing you see when you wake up is Morty shoving his head into, and you're still unfamiliar with Morty. You haven't really been around Morty for too long, but definitely longer than Roman, who you were pretty passed out, drunk for the last couple of days.
The whole thing with the city I heard was pretty hard on you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first thing that you see is Morty shove his head into this tiny hut that you, this magical tiny hut, and wake you up, alerting you to the dangers around. Do you have dark vision?
I just have my other character. I don't have my Badger character sheet. And it was
You dressed the wrong one.
Yeah. I believe Badger does not have dark vision.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't, yeah, 'cause he's-
So you
I
do
know
not.
what's your stats though.
You do not see anything other than Roman being attacked by a couple of 2-headed dogs at the moment. Other than that, everything else is kind of this amorphous figure.
His strength is like a +3. So I know his weapon damage is.
What color am I? I just couldn't find it.
Whatever's in the right here.
Either one of that, yeah.
I'll move out. I'll move.
So you're now red. You
I'll move
can't.
towards this guy.
Or you can, you just have to.
You're dropping the hut when you do.
I have my guitar. I have my guitar to start.
Yeah.
So you do have 10 foot reach.
So
Yeah, you gotta
go to this first guy.
Hold it down.
Right here. So you get a hit here. Over there, and I'll use my baton on him. Try to swing for him.
And you are at disadvantage because you are blind at the moment. You,
It's pitch black
it's
out here.
pitch black.
Damn.
It's
There's the slightest bit of ambient light that's hitting from the moonlight off the coast that you're by, but other than that, it is pretty dark at the moment.
I always pictured dark vision like
12 does not hit. As you are just kind of blindly throwing your blade into the night, you are, yeah, it's pretty hard to see anything at the moment.
Man, I can't see shit over here,
But
boys.
but you do have extra attack as well. So if you want to go ahead and do that, because you're
Oh yeah.
as a fighter,
Yeah,
you
we'll
have extra
go
attack. Again, at disadvantage.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's not
you're
good.
like, oh man, I already rolled real bad, so it's not gonna matter.
Yeah, first one was 4. Yeah.
4.
Four,
Yeah.
that's-
Again, you are just kind of Actually, go ahead and roll a d6 for me. On a 1 through 4, you don't hit anything. On a 5 through 6, you hit Morty.
Wait, you said a 5 through 6?
Yeah, 5 through 6.
No!
Go ahead and roll for damage on Morty.
It's a 1d8.
1d8
plus
for
3.
katana. This is the 8, right? No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
it's
ahead. Yeah,
the-
for damage.
That's like cocked all the
Is
shit.
that con?
Yeah,
Okay, I
that's
couldn't
the
tell.
shit.
Okay.
10.
So Morty, you take 10 points of damage as in this.
I would.
Do I see this happening?
You do. Oh, do you have dark vision?
I don't think so.
No.
Wait, no,
yes.
yeah, that's your.
Yeah, as a.
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do see this happening as Badger is kind of wildly swinging and kind of jabs you, and you feel his blade kind of skin off of your thigh,
Oh, what
and
the
you
shit?
take 10 points of
I got
slashing
someone!
damage.
I got something.
You hear the very you're very familiar with the sound of blade through flesh, and you hear that thinking you've got whatever
Man, I
this
did it.
assailant is, because you aren't even sure what is actually attacking right now. You can't see anything. You just see this this shape of what appears to be, and your best guess is probably a wolf or a dog of some sort. That's going to be the end of your turn. It's going to bring us to both Vlad and Demetrius. Whoever y'all rolled the same initiative, so whoever wants to go first can go.
Rock, paper, scissors, roulette.
highest DC. I mean,
High stacks.
Yeah, high stacks. Dex mods.
It's probably gonna be him. Yeah, he's a ranger, so.
Ranger up.
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot it. Okay.
Okay, roll for an attack.
Hopefully you can see the guy.
He can.
Thank God.
24.
24, yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
3.
3
Plus.
plus your dexterity.
6.
Plus 6. Or wait,
No, 3 plus 2.
Yeah.
Or 3 plus 3, so 6. Fine, 3 plus 2. Arkansas math. Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
yeah, pretty
Thank you.
easily.
Public education.
LA schools for the win.
Yeah. So you pretty aptly come up and fire off, and you watch as this arrow send and kind of embeds itself into the thigh of this large dire wolf. And I believe you have an extra attack as well. So if you want to go ahead and fire off another one, you can.
Yeah.
Go for it.
28.
20?
It's a natural 20.
It's a natural 20.
Yeah. So that's roll for your damage and then double the die, and then add your modifier.
3.
Double down on it.
So 6, 9.
9.
Ha!
69.
69. Alright.
Yeah, alright.
All right. Yeah. So as you very quickly, kind of like almost splitting the arrow as these things right in the same spot in the hindquarters of this beast. Anything else that you'd like to do on your turn? I think that's
No.
all of your actions, but you do start movement. Any bonus actions you'd like to take? Any spells you'd like to cast? You can mark it as well if you want as a bonus action.
Yeah, you can cast
Yeah.
Hunter's Mark
Hunter's
on
Mark.
anything.
Yeah, Hunter's Mark is a bonus action. So if you anything that you see, you can cast Hunter's Mark on it and mark it as your target, and then you add 1d6
Yeah.
to the
You
next.
damage it.
If you.
And that's a bonus action, so you can do that.
Alright, I'll do that.
Yeah.
It was my favorite thing. It was my favorite thing. Is really Hunter fucking this pen.
Yeah.
Hunter
So
fucking neck.
it is Hunter's Mark. Cool. All right. And it's going to bring us to Vladimir. It's your turn. So you
Alright.
wake up and you can see. Do you have? Yeah, you do have dark vision. So you
Not
are.
only do I have dark vision,
You have true
I have
sight?
enhanced.
He has an
Yeah,
answer, but
yeah,
he
yeah,
can
that's true
see.
sight, yeah. So you have, you see pretty much everything that is happening at the moment. Just a mass flurry of these dire wolves and two-headed dogs that look utterly disgusting. It looks like some of their flesh is kind of peeling off in some spots. But you're able to see this chaos of bodies being flung into this this battle. What would you like to do?
I'd like to go ahead and frighten the yellow one.
How so?
My Fey presence.
Say presence? They're not fey. Or
No, he
yeah,
uses
yeah,
his
for
fey
your
presence.
fey presence. Yeah, so that's a wisdom saving throw. What's the DC on that?
17
17.
for my warlock. Yeah.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, that's right.
This is 17.
That is a 17.
Oh!
That is a 17.
Right
You
in
watch
the
as
border.
this dire wolf kind of looks over. It doesn't know where you are, but it kind of looks around and it can. Actually, I can go ahead and.
I just yell.
Fuck you, buddy.
Yeah, it is not. It does not know where you are, but it seems to be looking around right now. It's kind of in a little bit of a panic.
Piss bag.
Is that an
not
action
human.
or a bonus action?
For Fate Present, it's going to be an action.
Okay.
So you do still have a bonus action if you'd like to cast any bonus
Any
action.
cantrips.
But that will also casting a spell will break your concentration, and the hut will drop.
But I can do cantrips.
Casting anything is going to be
No, it's if you cast another concentration, but you can only have one concentration spell active. Because you can concentrate on that one spell and cast
Yeah,
other
right.
things.
Is
So
message a concentration spell?
no,
No.
you can
Alright.
cast message.
I'll just message to everyone, be like,
If things get too hairy out there, you can always come back to the hut, boys. Don't worry, Papa's got you.
Vladimir just became the grandmother of the group.
Yeah, I was just like, you just change doors.
Oh,
I got
okay.
fresh cookies in here.
Thanks,
Some
Grandma?
skinny kids.
Question mark.
Boy,
I'll fuck with
Papa's
biscuits.
getting well.
I
They're
do fuck
in
with
here.
this.
It's going to bring us to Morty. It's your turn.
What the
As you
shit?
are,
What the shit?
you've been mauled. You've been stabbed. You are.
So I guess
assailants all over.
I guess I roll from the fucking thing. Is the dire wolf still in my fucking face? Because it was on top. You said it wasn't grappled, but it was like on top of, like near me, right?
It's basically on top of you. So if you like to.
I roll over and a crossbow's ready, short bow's ready loaded, so I'm gonna go ahead and just point blank pop shot in the chest.
Okay, for a crossbow.
Yeah,
right there?
short bow, yeah.
Short bow. It's going to be at disadvantage. Go ahead and make an attack. Yeah.
Forward. Oh shit. Yeah. Fuck it. Called it. What, Dex?
Yeah. Dex plus proficiency.
It's fucking faded.
What's your proficiency? It's well 3 plus your
Mhm,
whatever.
plus
your
I
three.
dexterity.
don't think I'm not proficient in sword.
So plus 5.
So, okay. 13.
13. Yeah. So as you're trying to kind of get a beat on it, as it's kind of snarling and snapping at you, the arrowhead is placed a little bit too far away, and it flies off into the distance, not hitting it. Yeah, that's gonna be your action. Do you have any other bonus actions?
Or still able to get out of prone. Because they're like grapple.
That's good. Yeah, it's gonna use half your movement. But yeah.
Obviously, that was my attack.
He-
I'm just gonna pull out my short sword.
Okay, yeah.
I'll look if it's ready.
I'll see. Yeah, I'll see.
Something
You can pull out
fancy
your
like
short sword.
it's ready to hit turn.
And you're still prone.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's going to bring us to Roman. It is your turn.
Okay.
As you have these two figures in front of you,
So
four snarling, snapping maws in your face.
yes. So, the blue flame in my hand will dissipate,
Okay.
and I'll use my free action to draw my sword.
Okay.
I'm going. Yeah, fuck it. Going to use my bonus action to take another 6 points of damage. My short sword suddenly glows with 10 foot of light and is flaming.
Flaming sword.
Flaming!
Yes. So that's another 6.
Toasty.
Third person party with flaming sword.
And I'm. Yeah,
Three
I guess I'm going to attack
fucking here.
the one in front of me.
The green one?
Yeah.
Okay.
The blue
Go
flame.
for an attack.
More dope.
That's true.
That's true.
That's gonna be a 10.
As you are, it seems to go just directly in between both of the heads.
Just miss.
You really threaded the needle.
Yeah, just.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Attack then. That's gonna be a little bit better. That's still not gonna hit though. That's gonna be fucking. Damn it. 11.
11. Is this again with your short sword?
Yep.
Kind of bringing it back over. You thread the needle once again. Just directly
Shink, shink.
between, yeah. And
I was having a rough time.
the two
boys.
heads just kind of like look at each other before looking back at you and snarling. So those are your actions.
Yep.
Do your action any
Yep.
bonus actions or anything? Or no, you already did
No, I
bonus
used
action.
it to ride the weapon.
All right, and it's going to bring us to this one, as it's going to go ahead and make another bite attack, and it does get advantage as you are prone. Damn. Yeah, that's gonna hit. It's a 24 to hit.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
In row time, boys.
Need you to get out there and
Wow,
give it your all.
That was minimum damage. 5 points of piercing damage.
This is a huge injustice.
And
And since it's like I still have my short base, since it's in close range, and I would slash back at it. It's quite no.
no, because you do not ready, or you do not
I
have
have
a.
a short sword ready.
Well, but you did
Oh,
not.
yeah,
you
technically.
did ready in action.
Okay.
Or you'd have to have a certain.
Oh, I pulled
action
it out,
to
but
allow
not
you
ready
to
to
do
get
it.
out.
And you
So
would
it's
you
a
still
five-
would
so
you still would get
five-
an attack of opportunity. But yeah, it's 5 piercing damage to you as it kind of jumps
total?
down into
Just-
here.
okay.
Yeah, 5 total to you. And it's gonna stay right there. Meanwhile, this one is going to kind of run underneath the brush, and it is.
Hmm?
And it is going to take another. You watch as this second dire wolf comes up running underneath the branches of the tree, and it's going to go ahead and attack you again.
Oh, that's when it's being.
Sunday.
Oh, I'm coming after this.
It's going to be
Fucking shit.
20 to hit.
20 to hit. You will need to drop the orb sign.
You
Come here,
Yes.
you!
12 points of piercing damage.
Oh,
12 total
Come out
points.
and crank that, sir.
As you feel this this other jaw, you are now kind of being pulled as one jaw is around your ankles and another is grabbing you by your arm, and you are kind of being pulled in two different directions.
Nope.
It's going to bring us to the one who is engaged with you is going to go ahead and make 2 bite attacks.
Okay.
That's both are gonna miss. Actually, you watch as one head snaps. You're all whiffing.
We're all just whipping.
incessantly.
We're just having a bad time over here.
As one head swings and misses, and the other head swings and misses.
you're missing all this. I'm just getting mauled.
And meanwhile, the other one is going to here, and it is going to attack twice as well. And since we have been calling those as flanking in this campaign, it is currently flanking you right now.
Mm-hmm.
So advantage on the first attack. It's going to be a natural 1 for the first roll, and then a natural 18 for the second. It's a 22 to hit for the first one.
That's fine.
Okay. And the second attack is going to be a natural 20.
Oh.
Spray hoofs, boys.
Yeah, so
Bad
damage on the
boys.
first one. 7 points of piercing
still
damage,
here.
and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
You can always go back to the hut.
Oof, that's a fail. That's gonna be a 7.
I didn't
Seven.
look at home and just-
You feel one arm suddenly.
It's not a dagger.
Crossbow.
go a
Forget
little
what
bit
sword's
dead.
not a dagger. Stab.
You don't. Your muscle.
yeah,
Your muscle
I
say,
use-
so you,
okay.
you still have it, but you feel this kind of
I got
burning
a plan.
and slightly cold sensation. It seems like the heat and the cold in your arm is fighting right now. And damage on the second one, the natural 20. It's gonna be. You actually got kind of lucky with that one. 6 points of piercing damage.
Use my reaction for Hellish
Yeah.
Rebuke.
Okay, what do you?
He needs a. As soon as he hits me, I just scream in Sylvan, "Ya fucking bastard!"
What save is that?
That's a 15 dex save.
15 dex save. That's no, he failed. That's 13.
That is 2d. Wait, that is 2d10.
2d10. Damn.
So that's 6, 9, so 9. Yeah, 9 fire damage.
All right. You watch as a little puff, a little kind of bulb of pustulous material just kind of bursts into flame as you begin to notice that the skin on these dogs doesn't appear to be entirely normal. It just seems to be blistering in some areas, and it's very patchy, and it's kind of reddish in some areas, and just jet black in others. But you watch as this and pus just kind of spews out onto the ground and across your cart, and a little bit gets on you.
That's gross. They reel back a little bit though, because they're like, God damn fire, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
You son of a bitch!
that's
Because it just bites me and then my arm just explodes in its mouth.
let's see.
God.
This
You watch as
We
this
should have picked this
direwolf
fight, bro.
is gonna run up and it's gonna go ahead and attack you as well. And it's an advantage. Yeah, that's gonna hit with a 22.
Oh, bullshit on these 20s.
I'm calling hacks, boys.
It's gonna be 9 points of
Oh,
piercing damage.
Hacks.
As this third direwolf runs up out of nowhere and begins kind of jawing at your shoulder. So you're kind of being pulled apart in 3 different directions as they are.
Okay.
They're going for you. And that's going to bring us to Malachi. It is your turn. You watch as you're not quite sure what is happening. You just see this figure on the ground. You're not sure who it is. You kind of heard some grunts and groans and some screams of pain, but you're not quite sure who it is. You can just see the rough outline of someone being utterly mauled on the ground, maybe 20 feet in front of you.
Okay. So I can see that much, right? I can see figures tearing apart something on the ground.
Very vaguely. They kind of blend into each other. You don't feel confident that you'd be able to hit one without
Yeah.
possibly hitting another.
I don't know how much.
Don't do it.
I don't know how much help I can be right now.
Don't be fucking mad here. Just
I don't have any light spells in that too. So. Well, I guess since Malachi doesn't know what's going on over there, but he can see what's going on over here.
Mm-hmm.
So, in between everything that's happened, just gonna reload his hand crossbow and yeah, he's gonna make an attack on that one.
Go ahead, roll for another attack.
Is that also advantage? 'Cause
Yeah, that is going to be advantage.
22.
22 hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
What the fuck was that damage, my guy?
What the fuck was that damage?
14.
14.
Yeah.
That's how I feel right now. Roman's hurting.
So another one
Roman's
kind of
getting
sticks
busted.
into the kind of like lower neck, kind of where the neck of the first head meets the shoulder, and you kind of watch it kind of rear back, and you see as the two-headed dog kind of shifts in pain, begins to kind of shrug it off, and that's going to be your action. Do you have any other bonus actions or movement? No? Alright, it's going to end your turn. It's going to bring us to Badger. It's your turn. So yeah, you hear this yelp of pain as you accidentally slice into Morty, and then you watch as these two other dire wolves kind of rush up. Unable to really figure out where the figure ends and the night continues, you just see these figures in front of you.
I will move.
Hey.
All the way in, like get all up in that guy.
Because you can't occupy the same space as an enemy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So get right there,
Okay.
Gonna get up in his shit.
and then just use my baton.
Yeah. Go ahead. Roll for an attack at disadvantage.
Fuck it. Go for it, man. At the first force blow.
That's not gonna hit, no. So I'll do a second attack. We'll try to go for a second one.
Okay.
No, that's like,
Give someone.
That's not gonna
Someone give him a
What
buffer
is
die.
that was like an 8
Someone
or
give
something.
this man
Okay.
a different die.
Go ahead. Roll a 1d6.
Oh, jeez, no.
Here, man, you get the dice of shame right now.
The dice of shame.
Yeah.
The little die.
Yeah.
See.
Been there, man.
Ooh, so you still don't hit, but you just barely miss grazing Morty on the second time.
Well,
as you're
Yeah. That's perfectly enough. Because I have 4 health field left. So
yeah. So you just kind of
It doesn't hit you. It doesn't hit you.
Oh, does it hit me?
No. Yeah, he does not hit you. He barely misses.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, like, damn.
Yeah. So you can hear the blades singing in the air. Some of the blood on the end of the sword kind of sprinkling off and hitting the blades of grass on the ground. You can hear this kind of flex being strewn about.
Watch this
But,
like right here beside my ear.
You aren't connecting anything. You're just missing an ear. It's gonna bring us to Demetrius. It's your turn. You watch as
So
your new friend Morty is being utterly mauled on the ground right now.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And the black one currently has your hunter's mark. You can see a small ring of greenish energy kind of wrapped around its throat like a chain.
Alright, I'm shooting at him.
Go for it.
So that's 6 to 56 to this.
To the
No,
to the
so-
damage roll.
The damage, alright.
So that's 12 plus. Check your sheet. It has an attack bonus plus.
Yes, 20.
20, yeah, it's gonna hit. Go ahead and roll for damage, and then add your 1d6 as well for the hunter's mark.
Yeah, 6 of those. Go on this mark.
3, 6.
Are you rolling? What'd you roll for the first one? Was that a d6 that you rolled? Because it's a d8 for the
It's
long
a
bow.
D8 for the long
So roll a 1d8 and then add your second
That was a D10.
for the long bow.
Yeah.
He had a big bow.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
He had a big bow and he had a hand crossbow.
Like one of
That's
those,
right, yeah.
those Olympian style archery.
Yeah.
Like, he's a big boy bow.
What was the name from?
Well, what's the damage? All right.
Yes, yeah, Odysseus bow. Fucking one.
Yeah,
The guy goes only can pick up his fill it back his own self.
Yeah. So you go ahead and let off this first one, and it embeds itself pretty well. And you do have an extra attack as well as a.
I'll do it
So
again.
yeah, if you want to go ahead and shoot
24.
24 hits again. Go ahead and roll your 1d8 and your 1d6, or your 1d10 and your 1d6. Sorry. 8 points. All right. And just letting you know, anytime a creature dies that you had your hunter's mark on it, you can spend a bonus action to move that to another creature that you see. But you watch as you kind of let off 2 more arrows, and these time they embed a little bit closer up to the neck, and you watch as this thing kind of stumbles for a second, and you can hear it with growing pain at the moment. It's going to bring us to the end of your turn. Vladimir, it is your turn.
I'm done fucking around. I'm gonna cast Magic Missile at 3rd level.
He's like, I'm not fucking around! Trust the stone, bitch!
The boss has arrived.
All of them.
One each. Go for it. Yeah.
Give me your D4s.
Oh, gladly.
How many?
Both of my D4s because I'm
I need.
tired.
So go ahead and roll damage for your first magic missile on the black one.
I'll do one next time.
Yeah.
That's
You know, I can't read that one, so.
That's 2.
2? Which one is that hitting?
The black one, yes.
2 points of damage. Alright.
And now for the yellow. That's a 4.
Aren't they? It's plus.
Are you adding your spell attack modifier?
Yeah, because it's.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, so it'll be like.
Okay, so that was a
First one was a 1.
8.
8 points for the first one?
Shit, yeah, that's a world.
Oh god!
Yeah. Watches this first one as you. Watches this
When
one.
you first said it, I was like, isn't your intelligence modifier like a +4? How did you get 2?
As you kind of finger gun this thing, you watch as it. In your face.
Your face! It just fucking explodes.
And the second one is 10
10,
for the yellow one.
okay.
That's also an 8 for the reds.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, as you shoot off these other, they impact and they don't seem to explode, but they do seem to take a good bit of energy as they stumble back a little bit.
Is it good? 11 for the red one.
The red ones.
6.
And 10 for the green one.
Damn, we're fucking them up.
Can I say?
Yeah, as you just kind of John Wick this shit.
Like a messaging and like,
Seriously, if you need to come back to the hut, I'm here for you.
This is just sweet boy. Thanks, Grandma.
He just like stuck his body out. It's just like.
Well, I feel like Vladimir would like do it with his penis.
He just like walks up and just sticks his throat.
No, here's
Yeah.
what's happening. It's, I stick my dick out and I make like machine noises like, and then shoot it and then like it circles around the head.
I just imagine like this one.
He's like a little tank.
You see some Navy seamen just like rotating the entire
The fact that
gun.
you said semen makes it.
I had to.
Rotating your balls into.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, there you go. You gotta go.
It's gonna bring us to. Do you have any movement you want to use, or?
No, just
Alright,
He's
let's
like,
go.
I'm
Stand
keeping
there.
it.
Morty's gonna bring us to your turn. As you are still being mauled right now.
I'm gonna go ahead and just use Healing Word at the second level
Okay.
on myself.
On myself.
On myself.
As I should. Oh my god. 7.
Okay. So yeah, as you kind of reach up and you pull this divine energy,
9. I'm gonna try to get the fuck out of it if I can. I'll probably.
yeah, you are prone, so it's half movement to get up, and then
So you'd have 15 feet once you stand
Stand
up.
out 15.
yeah,
And
they both get attacks of opportunity on you. And they both get attacks of opportunity with advantage.
Because you're flanked.
Yeah.
You're in between the two of them.
That's gonna be 23 points to hit. Or sorry, 23 to hit.
except for the 20s.
Because that's.
Oh, there's
Alright,
yeah,
they're
there
plus
That's
6.
7 points of piercing damage that you take from the first one. And I need you to make a strength saving throw. 16. Alright, you pass.
Morty, please go back to the hut.
I'm trying.
And that's a natural 20. Y'all can look at it. It's a natural 20.
There's no point in roll damage.
Unless you roll a 1.
It's gonna be like still plus 3.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
It's relevant.
it's 19 points of piercing damage. And you are knocked unconscious.
19.
Morty,
I'm gonna have
no.
my revenge as soon
As
as
the
I
thing
got
comes back, and as you're running away, it
Reach
literally
hell if I could.
bites you in the ass and knocks you
Left or
over.
right cheek?
And-
Right in the middle.
right at the middle. It's getting its own
It's full gooch and
full
everything.
huge and taint. As you
Tickle them balls.
as you go face forward into the ground.
Oh no.
No, not the face of taint. Yeah, so you'll watch as those of you with dark vision, you can see watch Morty just kind of crumple and fall face forward into the dirt with this dire wolf's mouth just chomping down on his taint. And that's gonna bring us
It
to
smells good, but damn bad.
yeah. Bring us to your turn.
Oh,
Dropping my hand crossbow
Okay.
and
So you have a free
reaching
hand. Okay.
in my little pouch, I pull out a small little bloody stone
Mm-hmm.
and I just jam it into my chest.
What are you doing? I'm sorry, wait, what?
He's killing himself.
I'm dead.
No, it's the thing we talked about for the 1d4.
He's a stake of a
The
psycho.
little, yeah.
Go for it.
It's a little stem.
It's a stake of a psycho.
Oh no, it's a 3.
As you get free hit points, go for it.
Yay!
As it kind of, it doesn't quite, when you want it to watch, as it's very interesting, it's solid and it's hard as a regular rock, but as soon as it comes into contact with your person, it seems to kind of dissipate and turn to dust as you kind of smear it on yourself, and you kind of absorb this energy.
You want to do this in your chest?
Yeah, pretty much.
So your action, do you have any other bonus actions? Or
Yeah, I'm gonna use my movement to come back into the thing.
Alright, they're going to get bonus act, or they're going to get attacks of
Two
opportunity.
attacks of opportunity.
Four.
Yeah.
Technically, they're all two.
So,
They all have heads. 2 heads.
I still have 2 more uses of Hellish Rebuke.
it's going to be natural 20. It's right there. It's right there.
It's way
To
to
the
die.
first one.
We'll be back soon.
Alright, it's going to be 5 points of piercing damage for the first one.
This is a
And then, does a 17 hit?
That's it.
party members here. I kind of have like
That's going to
something
be
to
8
go
points of
against.
piercing damage. As these two, but you are able to move back as they kind of snap
hit by
by
shots.
The second one who hit me for 8.
the green one.
He's gonna get a Hellish Rebuke.
Alright, just to make a dex save.
Oh, 15.
15. It's going to be a natural 18 with 20. So he does kind of move out of the way of this this energy that emanates from you.
He caught on the last time.
Yeah. He learned from his
But I'm
friend.
safe now and I can't be fucked with, so.
And it's going to bring us to the end of Roman's turn.
Welcome to the safety of the hut.
Thank you, sir.
This one is going to move around, and it's going to go ahead and attack Badger. And it's going to get advantage. So it's pack tactics. And advantage from flanking.
Fucking wrong, wolves, man.
Yeah, the wolves, brah. Gosh.
It's going to be a 17 to hit.
I'm just gonna use baggy size for Badger for now. Yeah, that hits. That hit.
That's about what he had on.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's 10 points of piercing damage. And
He
you
had
can
like 60 something health.
make, yeah,
So I'll just say I have 50.
yeah. And I need you to make a strength saving throw.
And that's a +3 on yours.
That's another thing I got. Why they have to be straight.
Because they're trying to pull you down every time they bite.
Anything like a ball stats.
Yeah.
My bow stats. Yeah. I'm just saying. I
So
know
that's
it's
not
fire
20.
move.
Nat 20?
So
Alright,
nat
yeah.
20.
So as it bites, you kind of gets on your arm, and you're able to kind of throw it off as yeah. And it kind of yelps as it kind of backs off a little bit. It's going to be the end of its turn. It's going to bring us to this one. Unsure as to where you went, it's going to go ahead and sniff, and then keep going.
Sorry, boys.
It's gonna move its
I'm down to it.
its target. It's gonna go ahead and make some swipes at you. You want? All right. It's gonna be a 17 to hit for the first attack,
Gonna try to smash
and then a 14 to hit for the second attack.
Both will hit.
Both will hit. Okay. It's gonna be 6 points of piercing damage for the first attack.
Okay.
I'm a sorcerer.
And then 5 points of piercing damage for the second attack.
I'm gonna uncanny dodge that.
All right, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
13.
13. Yeah, you save. You save as you feel your leg as it latches onto your calf muscle, and you can feel the pain from the bite at first, and then there's this hot, sharp sensation that kind of spirals up your leg as your leg goes dead for a second, and you have to kind of shake your leg to wake it back up, and you kick off the second head of the large two-headed dog that is currently attacking you. And it's going to be the end of its turn. This one, following suit, is going to attack.
Tactics, my guy.
It's going to go ahead and attack as well, and it does get advantage. So for the first attack,
Hard to use my action.
first attack is not going to hit.
Okay.
Second attack is going to be
Gotta go back to
a 18 to hit. It's going to be 6 points of piercing damage as this second head comes up, and it's going to go ahead and kind of just graze your side, kind of grabbing right the bottom part of your torso. And you feel one of the fangs kind of scrape off. It doesn't get a good hold, but it does get a little bit of damage off. It's going to be the end of its turn, as this one is going to turn its attention and going to go ahead, and it's going to attack Badger as well with advantage.
Yeah, that's funny.
That was cocked. Yeah, it's going to be a 24 to hit. As Badger, you take 8 points of piercing damage. God, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
The problem comes down is we can't see. Hellos can. Hellos
21.
Because
And
none of us
you
have
say,
any
as you are
last
kind of catching these attacks, you're taking the brunt of their attack, but you're able to shake them off and throw them back down. As you're kind of spiraling around, these two large beasts are currently on either side of you, and for a moment it looks as though they kind of have the upper hand. It's going to bring us to the end of their turn. Malachi, it's going to be your turn.
Cool.
You watch as these four heads are now snapping at your heels.
Cool. Alright. Cool. So after reloading my crossbow, I'm going to use my action to put it away and drop my short sword.
Okay, go for it.
And then I'm going to disengage as a bonus action.
Go for it.
10, 15, 20. I'm into hut.
Bye guys, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
We are in the hut.
Alright, so the end of your turn.
Yeah.
We're leaving this poor guy here unconscious.
Dude.
Badger, it's gonna be your turn.
I'm sorry. I gotta go straight to the.
And they get
Both attackers.
both
You might
attacks
get
opportunity.
attacks of opportunity.
Wait, but they're getting their attacks of opportunity right now?
Yeah.
They won't get any more. Because that'll be 1, 2, that's all 4 of them who just made opportunity attacks. Because they made opportunity on attacks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Him.
So you do get to go ahead and jump out.
Grab him.
Grab him.
They can't attack you. I'm like, you're the strongest dude here, you could just fucking...
Go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
That's plus 6 on one. I know.
Yeah, I'm like, that one's a plus
Like,
6.
I'm strong on that
I'm
shit.
not sure y'all know, like, I'm the guy who can...
I got it.
So
I've one stone.
it's gonna be half movement, but you are able to get 15 feet
I
closer
just expect
to
two
the
fucking
hut.
things to, advance so quickly once they're, like, over retreating. Oh, wait, we'll go back real quick.
5, 10,
Because,
15.
We got big boys in the back. You know,
So you are currently kind of like fireman carrying this. You're a half elf. Yeah, an elf.
I'm an elf
Okay.
elf.
This
I'm
elf
not the
walking
gnome.
on your-
today.
Not the gnome today.
That's going to be the end of your turn. Demetrius, it is your turn. So yeah, you can go ahead. Which one would you like to have your Hunter's Mark move to?
I say one of the big boys.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it right there.
Being there, right there. Okay. All right. You have both your attacks and your movement.
Nope.
Which one are you attacking? The red one.
Right.
Yeah.
No. 19.
19 hits. What was the first roll?
1.
One. Oh yeah. So the second attack does hit. So the first arrow kind of flies off into the distance.
Wrong.
You hear it kind of hit a tree maybe about 50 feet away. But the second attack does hit. Roll for damage on that one. And then add your d6 for Hunter's Mark.
9.
9 points.
Did you add your 3 for
That's
your
total
dexterity?
here.
No. 12.
12. All
There
right.
you go.
This one kind of hits squarely in between the two heads, kind of in that center shoulder, and you watch as it kind of just gonna roll angry now. It's gonna be both your attacks. We do have movement if you'd like to move.
I guess I'll move into that too. Something else.
Yeah. You kind of fire off and then you sprint off.
Yeah, the whole battle plan.
Well, it went to shit real fast.
And it's going to be the end of your turn. Morty, I need you to make a death saving throw for me.
Plus your con.
Plus con.
Oh, you were. Did you
No,
roll
that's
one?
one.
Oh, that's 2 death
Yeah,
saves.
that's 2 death saves failed.
And I rolled the good dice too. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so you have failed 2 death saves. If you fail one more,
Yeah.
Morty's dead.
Morty's choked on his
That's
own blood.
Well, no, that's because that's an old one.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just leave it till then.
Someone give him CPR right now! Roman, it's going to bring us to your turn. As you
I
come
kind
back
of just
into
threw
the
up
hut.
blood, I guess. It's
Yeah. I'm sorry, Demetrius, go ahead.
Vladimir.
Sorry, Vladimir, I'm so sorry.
Quick DM question. Since I'm such a high level, when I do firebolt, is it 2 firebolts or just?
No, it's
It's just one,
really
but
fire.
it's-
It's 2d10.
Yeah.
Alright. Then I will firebolt this guy.
Go ahead and roll for an attack.
Oh, for an attack.
Yeah.
I was hoping that was fog too. I was like, oh, straight flat.
Plus your intelligence modifier. 12. That hits. Roll for damage.
Just wolves are very hard. They're bigger than the smaller wolves. The small ones are hard to hit.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
16.
16. On which one? The red one?
You're good on attacking, just they can
You watch as that one
Fuck that one.
smolders, and the
Explodes.
that one doesn't quite explode. That one's a much different story where bits of it explode. Similarly to how you had hit like this kind of bulbous sack of pus, you watch as all these pustules begin flaring up, and the whole thing just kind of
Interesting.
and dies. And that's going to be your action. Do you have any other bonus actions or movement that you'd like to use up?
Who needs a health potion?
Yes.
You do.
Nice.
Yeah, but you do.
I can't say anything because you know.
I'll get us to the next town.
Okay. Here we go.
Like a
Alright, bonus action, you got it. But you can take it on your turn.
Yeah.
Which is your turn now.
That's cool.
because You've taken your death saves. and
So, 2 things.
Mhm.
I only have one of the stone prepared for the day. Would I be able to step out of the circle, touch the stone to him, and then step back into the circle?
yeah, as long as you don't use up all your movement. That'd be your.
I'm
We'll say that. We'll say that's your bonus
Well,
action.
So, 5, 10, touch him, 15, 20.
Yeah.
And then I drink my potion.
So you touch another one of the stones, or
No, I'm drinking the potion he handed me. I gave the last stone to him,
Last
so
one,
that'll be.
Yeah, so
that'll
go
be-
ahead and.
You're back to life with 2 health.
You feel this strange sensation as
That's about how it feels like too.
you feel as though someone like throws a rock. You feel this hard surface pressed into your chest, and then immediately there's this warm sensation that kind of refills your lungs instantly. You almost have to cough to get.
I'm still spatting out the blood.
Yeah, there's still a lot of blood in your
There's a little bit of ash with it.
There's a little bit of an ashy aftertaste. It tastes
It's
iron.
not pleasant, but it's still a work in
still
progress.
also a lot of iron taste from the blood that is in your mouth right now.
Still
Roman, that's
better
going to be
than
the end of your turn.
mine.
Was the healing potion that he handed me?
I believe that was just a lesser healing
Was this? So
potion.
that's 2d4s
Yeah.
plus 4.
Plus 4.
Oh yeah, I'm drinking that much. That's 8.
8 points. You go ahead and regain 8 points. As this one is going to be chasing you down, and it's going to go ahead and attack you, Badger.
Chicken son.
It's going to be a 18 to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be 10 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a strength saving throw at disadvantage.
What? No.
Because you're carrying someone.
Yeah.
That's cocked. I'm gonna take that 19.
That's bad. 8.
8. Okay, so you took your sorry, that was 10 points of piercing damage. And as this direwolf bites onto your leg, you fall to one knee and you fall prone.
Thus dropping you both.
You are both currently on the ground and prone with this direwolf over
Right
top
above.
of you. And that's going to bring us
To an
to
attack of opportunity on either of you move.
this one.
Dude, there's no way.
As you watch Badger, as out of the other side of your vision, as you felt one attack from behind,
Your death saves
this
are gone.
dual-headed beast comes up and is going to
That
go
was,
and
that's
attack
my
you.
only point.
And it's going to take 2 attacks,
Still
both for
saves.
advantage, as you are prone.
Good luck, bro.
You look out, that's a 13 for the first attack.
Miss.
It's going to be a natural 20.
He's natural, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know where you buy your dice, but I need to buy.
It's all
Jesus
I rolled at advantage 2 natural 20s. So you just take, it's just a regular natural 20, but I think that's pretty hilarious. Not max damage.
This is.
But you take 12 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Wow.
You got +2, Colin.
Only 2. God damn it.
Like every time it's close.
21, yes.
21. So as you're on the ground, you feel this bite kind of get you on the lower back, and you feel your back tense up, all the muscles. You go rigid for a second, and you feel as though you might have a seizure,
Oh,
and then you're able to kind of pull yourself out of it for a moment, and whatever was going to affect you,
to get one of them off.
suddenly it's not affecting you anymore. And that's going to bring us to that one's done. And this one is going to come up
No, it's to me.
and it's going to attack you again.
Advantage, of course.
And at advantage.
And here comes the natural 20, of course.
That's a
No,
that's a 16 to hit
Two
or
cross.
yeah, it's a 16 to hit.
2 natties.
Too bad.
Two natty.
2 natty bites. It's gonna be another 10 points of piercing damage.
Fucking titties in my head.
As you're getting pretty fucked up right now. Pretty
We're saving
brutalized.
people. I'll save you. Don't worry.
As these things are just going after you.
I usually don't have
And-
to sleep when I get attacked.
That's gonna bring us to Malachi. It is your turn.
Can I see any of this going on?
Oh yeah, this is right in front of the fucking. This is because my flame blade is still here.
Very dimly lit, so everything would still have. I'd say everything is still at disadvantage. Any ranged or melee attacks are still at disadvantage, but you are able to get the general outline. They're just all piled together, though. Also, real quick, Demetrius, what would you like to move? You are Hunter's Mark 2.
That'd be my whole turn, just doing that.
Yeah, damn it.
That one. Okay.
My mind cast lost to
Fuck you, maybe. You know, fuck it. I'm gonna make an attack on this fool right here. Thinking. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Go ahead and roll for an attack at disadvantage.
Wouldn't it technically be with sneak attack, so it'd just be straight roll?
Because it's engaged with.
He's coming out the hut.
Yeah.
They think
Well-
Because they have no idea where he went. He just vanished and now he's walking out.
Yeah, I'll allow. Cool. Yeah.
Allow.
16.
16 hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Nice. $14 damage.
14 damage.
Yeah.
What's up?
Take a good picture of the
Yeah.
board start now.
Yeah. So how do you kill this thing?
Ooh. So it's just a double-headed dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a two-headed dog that looks like its skin is blistered, and you see that its hair is not in a full. It's patchy
Yeah.
in one place, and it looks like it has a more extra wild look in its eye. It doesn't look like it's necessarily
Oh,
It's a
natural.
It's a chupacabra.
So yeah, I just want my short sword to just like slice through its two heads like butter.
Just in one clean stroke, both of these heads kind of look over in panic, seeing
Yeah.
this figure appear out of seemingly nowhere, and pretty easily.
Nice.
Demetrius, who, you can go ahead and move your hunter's mark. Yeah, the other guy.
The other guys.
Alright.
I'm gonna use
It's going to be your action. You do have any other bonus actions or movement.
yeah, I'm just gonna mobile use, just move 10 feet back here.
Alright, easily enough. You're able to kind of sap it back and get out of there. It's going to bring us to Badger. It is your turn. You are currently prone with these figures on top of you. You do, one of the last things you feel are the two heads of the large beast kind of roll over, and one is kind of like half on top of you, and you can feel the hot blood kind of seeping into your armor, and the smell is awful. It is
gross.
it is this mixture of, it is sulfuric, it is it is an utterly horrible smell.
Water and booze is nasty.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm
Are
gonna.
those dice doing you any better?
I suppose, you know.
A little bit.
I'm still gonna use my
I'm
katana.
definitely rolling this.
I'm gonna kind of like turn around and try to go for the right guy.
Okay.
So you just have to
So go ahead and roll for an attack at disadvantage as you are prone.
So +6 for this,
6 for this.
19 for the first one, and 13 for the second. It's 13 hit.
13 does hit. Go ahead and roll
Yes!
for damage on that one.
For katana is 8, right?
Yes.
Which one's the 8? This one.
Plus your strength modifier.
Which is 3.
3. 9.
9. Okay.
Yes, finally did some damage.
Yeah.
Finally hit the right person.
As you turn around and you, it does quite a bit of damage as you feel this blood spray kind of spread on top of you as you are just kind of basically on the ground. Yeah. And it is not pouring over you. It's kind of like it's rolling on your face. So you're covered in this different mixture of blood.
Maybe like chlamydia or herpes or something from this, some new disease.
Dog chlamydia.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Am I +2 right for Constitution?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not 20.
That's funny. Okay. As all this hot blood is covering you, you feel your skin begin to boil for a moment, and you're able to kind of power through and focus on the job at hand in dispatching these fiends. It's going to be the end of your turn.
Only get 2 attacks.
I'm sorry, yeah. You can go ahead and take your second attack if you'd like.
Go for a second one.
Still at disadvantage.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I can't beat him. I didn't hit that at all. It'd be a 9.
9, yeah. So as you get this first one, the other one, as you bring it right back around, the dog has, or the wolf has kind of reeled back from the first attack, and your second attack goes just a little bit too short. But that's going to be the end of your turn.
Can I
Both of
just
those
quickly
attacks.
move for? Can I roll? Can I move it? Can I roll? Into
You
the
can't. They're going to get an attack of opportunity, but you can move.
At
use your
advantage,
movement.
too.
And
You know
are-
I'm just gonna stay there.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stay there now.
Yeah, kind of with
Just
your
in the
katana.
group. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that earlier. When I
And
first died.
Demetrius, it's going to be.
Because I
Okay.
go
I'm gonna step back out over here.
Okay.
I'm going to take it.
Go ahead and roll for an attack, and that's with your counter mark as well.
You got this. Natural 20.
That's a 20. Yeah, so go ahead and roll your 1d10, double that.
Double that.
16.
16 plus your d6.
4. Yeah, 20.
20, is that plus
Plus.
your 3?
Plus your 3 for dexterity.
Yeah. How do you want to kill this one?
With the arrow, just go right through it. Like leave a hole.
Just drawing a little bit
Out its ass.
further. You can feel the tension in your bow a little bit more than usual, and you finally, at the last second before your bow snaps in half, like a bullet, straight through, and you almost you don't see the wolf react at all.
Just fucking drops.
You deleted him from the fucking game.
For a moment, it looks as though the wolf is fine. The wolf kind of.
Some straight cartoon shit right there.
Yeah, and if you'd like to go ahead and move your hunter's mark on that last one, you can. And you do have another attack.
Into him.
I'll shoot him then.
Yeah, go for it. Roll for it.
Let the hate flow.
21.
21 hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
kill it.
Kill him.
9.
And how do you want to kill this one?
Slash.
Yes!
Slash him down like the beastie is.
Again,
It's
it's
just
just
right in the heart.
Right in the heart.
Oh,
The second one is a measured draw. The first one was just raw strength and pure fury. This other one is, I'm going to let up just a little bit. Just enough to let the arrow stick out. With calm, cool, and collected stride, you right into the heart of this beast. And it falls dead.
Nice.
nice.
I would like to use prestidigitation on my boy Badger here.
Oh, so he's no longer covered in blood.
Yeah, all the blood from you, just that hot steaming blood is magically gone.
I'll come in the hut, big boy.
The blood is still seeping deep into the ground right next to you. You can still feel the heat kind of emanating off of you, particularly coming from the two-headed dog.
Investigate those weird ass fucking dogs.
Yes, I would like to get a couple of lanterns from the cart. Maybe set them up here, so we can kind of.
Full CSI this shit.
Yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
checking. I have a lot of questions.
Yeah. Easily enough, you can spend the next 5 minutes. You'll watch as Roman, this curious figure who you had met not 12 hours earlier, begins rummaging through his cart and is able to kind of
Legends.
piece together these small lanterns. And
Yeah, too.
are they just kind of like embedded in the ground? And there's
Yeah, just
Kinda
like.
tiki torches up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can someone get me some blood?
I was gonna say milk.
Oh yes, sir. That's not a problem. Have y'all ever encountered anything like this before? This normal.
No.
It's like a normal day for you people.
I mean,
Dear
it's
God.
usually not wolves, but there's usually something that tries to attack us during the night.
And Zarek lived this long.
I mean, he lived through all kinds of things miraculously.
We
This
we killed his dragon.
yeah. Well, I mean, dude. Hold on. He'd have scales and he'd have
You would have the scales as evidence.
No, I'm gonna haversack. Shit. Yeah. No, you did. I know, but.
So we've been through worse than this. Trust
But
us.
no, these are not normal wolves. This is. I've roamed these woods for quite a while. This isn't a normal happenstance.
Can I do a history check on these boys?
Yeah, go ahead and make a history check.
On the boy.
Nearby.
So the one.
Okay, well,
Anyways, never
that
mind.
one.
That one. So, in trying to recollect any cataloged explorers, basically different basically like a farmer's almanac of the different creatures in the region, and a catalog of things beasts that you could find, the different fauna around the area. You have no recollection at all as to one, what would be in this area, and two, whether or not these creatures would be part of that catalog. So these things are completely alien to you at the moment.
I don't know, boys.
Can I try to salvage any bolts that I used?
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
I'd like to look at the one with two heads that's still
nine.
That's the one I'm looking
Nine.
at. The one with the
Yeah, they seem to be splintered,
Yes.
broken, the arrowheads chipped, pretty much unusable, so,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be there with you.
So me and him are going to check out the
That's our
one that has its head still attached. The two-headed one.
Go ahead and make a medicine check, with advantage, because he's giving you help.
Looking for like, I don't know, sewing marks.
I'm
and
actually.
anything that you're probably better at it if you.
Yeah, it's like
check it.
I'm proficient in this. It's
Like,
like
go for it. So.
That's the one thing I'm good at, come on,
Let me do it. Let me do it.
Expect not that die. Not that.
Here. Use those.
Use Brandon's
Don't fuck
dice.
you
What
up.
you mean?
Yeah, I've been rolling nat 20s all night. At advantage,
It's an
because you have
advantage.
help.
Oh, advantage.
That's why I gave you two.
Oh, my bad. Shit. Other first one. 19.
19. What's your background?
Druid. Moon Circle Moon.
While you've never come across these, you do recognize these as death dogs. Typically attracting travelers in packs, they tend to kind of inspire leadership in other wolves. So this is a pretty characteristic attack. This is not out of the ordinary for their.
So these guys would have been technically in the alpha.
Yeah, these probably would have been the alphas. But with your medicine check, and what are you looking for in particular? Are you just kind of doing a
Kind of
general?
roams around with
Yeah. So
any markings, anything out of things.
for the surrounding area or for
Or
the
the
beasts
beast
themselves?
itself, like just because it's like so unique and never came across him. Like,
I was just looking for anything out of the ordinary.
I'm sorry to clarify. On the beast itself.
on the beast
Okay.
itself, yes.
Yeah, the skin doesn't appear to be in healthy condition. It appears to be very.
So almost like mange.
Yeah, it looks almost feral. Your best guess could probably be that it potentially has rabies, potentially, or some version of it that made it go so feral. And this is probably a likely mutation from having two heads in
So,
itself
what's
and
your
being
thing?
this monstrosity. You
Which is nothing.
Yeah, you don't find any other markings. You do, strangely though, around the neck of one of them,
So I'm looking for something.
a small, not collar, just a small silver chain. Very, very thin, almost razor thin. Just a small silver chain that is attached to one of the heads. If you'd like to take it off, you can go ahead and
Yeah.
it is pretty easy to go ahead and take off. It's just a very simple clasp. And with that 19, as you are looking closer at it, under somebody kind of take it over to one of the torches, and you're all kind of looking on at a distance and doing whatever else you are doing.
Yeah, well, he's was near me, so he's the first one to see.
Yeah. So the two of you are the first to immediately notice this. The chain itself is made out of small interlocking links, and it's a silver chain. It looks like it appears to be silver metal. Small interlocking chain links of dragons. Very small dragons and they're very thin. If you didn't have it directly up close to your face to see it, you wouldn't be able to perceive the design, but it is very intricate, and it's basically where the dragon's mouth is clamping down and is creating the chain link on the next dragon's tail, and that is what is essentially making this link. It's very beautiful and ornate work and master craftsmanship. This would not be something that you would be able to find in a common town.
Does it look like anything
So
that,
calm
that Roman would recognize from his
Make
like religious
Fancy
texts?
Make a religion check.
Bring it to them. What?
Going to street
Fuck. That's an
Dragon
8.
seem
That's a
to
plus
be
5. I rolled a
an interesting theme around these cards.
This one, you are able to recognize it as potentially having religious iconography and being religious iconography, but you are not able to place its origin. And you're doing a history check for it as well. Go ahead and do a history check.
So is this the collars all around, no tag type of thing?
No.
Straight up collar necklace.
And it's not even so much a collar; it's literally just like a razor thin wire. It's probably, if I were to say, it's maybe about the width of that pinhead all the way around.
Oh yeah, so really like up close to the light.
It's very, very intricate detail. You would have had to have had like a very huge
Yeah, so it's
magnifying
huge, it's
glass
like a
to do
regular
this.
type of wire.
23.
23.
Good job. But of course I brought it to you just wanted to know what it is.
You actually, strangely enough, do recognize some of this. In some of your spare time, before meeting up with the Citric Swords, you had done some research into the different myths regarding dragons that existed prior to Falling Day, when the Court of Dragons ruled. And some of this kind of sparks your memory as you had encountered Kalai and Deatha and the rumors of dragons kind of taking over again and different cults of dragons kind of cropping up. You do recognize this as a particular insignia of a smaller silver dragon. It is Krishkev.
Krishka?
Krishkev.
What is that?
Krishka was one of the lieutenants of Kalai and was generally considered a trickster dragon, one that would
If you said
appear.
the name out loud, I would inform you that it's not a friend.
It generally appears in human or elven form to mingle and commingle among different populated communities to basically serve as a reconnaissance soldier in Kalai's army.
Okay. So I pretty much know everything about it.
Pretty much, and as to whether or not the specific purpose of this chain, you just recognize the history behind the chain and what it is related to. The specific purpose for the chain, you're not quite sure if this was given as a sort of symbol of status or if this was just kind of given out to show
Are there
favor.
any arcana symbols on it?
No, not really. Looking at it, it just seems to be that the very intricate design of these small dragons forming these link chains.
This seems to be a Krishkev to dragon chain shit. You know, stuff like that.
Oh. You're odd.
Thank you.
So,
I'm just gonna fall back in my head. And just cure myself for now.
like, I'm just
I'm
gonna
not-
lay
I'm just
down.
gonna-
It's been a rough day.
I died for a little bit today.
No, I'm just gonna just heal up real quick.
Can I ask my friendly boy?
Friendly boy.
Hey boy, you know anything about this dragon stuff? Do you know Krishkev and Kalai and this chain?
So over the next 10 minutes, as you feel, as you're engaging in this conversation with your warlock patron, you feel this pull from deep within your gut. It's almost as though this small hand is tightly squeezing your intestines and kind of pulling you forward, and you almost have to remind yourself you're not actually being pulled forward, and you feel yourself kind of put your weight on your toes and then kind of kick yourself. But you feel this pull as you are focusing in on your warlock patron, and you hear this voice in your head.
Oh, Krishkev. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. He used to come over and play. You know when a stray cat wanders into your backyard and you can't help but feed it? Well, that's Krishkev. I've never seen that before, but he's not a friendly dragon. Usually silver dragons are pretty nice. I know a lot of them, they're pretty sweet. Or at least I did when they were around, but... Is he back? Did he say hi?
No, but there's these little doggies with two heads, and they seem to be related to him in a form.
Ooh, well that sounds like it could be a bit of a problem for you. I hope you don't run into too many more of those. That sounds like a bad time. Did you defeat him?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm proud of you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
You're so sweet.
Oh, dang, you're so sweet.
No, you.
Oh, good.
Come here. Kiss him.
Oh, thanks, Vladimir.
At 20.
Well,
You're the best servant I could ever hope to
oh
have.
man, you too, buddy.
Wait, no, but I'm not.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
So, is there anything else you can tell me about Krishkev? Things to look out for?
Well, if you're going to a big city, I'd just be wary of any elves or humans too. He can look like one. fairly convincing. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen him in a long time, so I don't know where he is. But you know, that's what he liked to do. He liked to pretend to be other things, and he's a real jokester.
To do what?
Well, I don't know, spy on people. What he liked to do is he liked to sit underneath our windowsill and just kind of hear things, and then he'd start spreading rumors, which wasn't very nice. So I don't think he's a really nice guy.
Sounds like a dick.
Well, a little bit.
Do you know who he hung out with, perhaps?
Well, he liked to hang out with my brother's pet. And that was kind of when he. That was kind of when things went off the way. Went off in a bad way. But there was this other dragon who would come along from time to time, and he was not a real happy guy. Whenever he was young, he was kind of a young upstart. He was blue scales, real angry looking.
Who was he? What's his name?
Started with a K.
Kalai?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That was his name.
man.
Yeah, he was not a good guy. I wonder what happened to him.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Man, I hope he doesn't come back.
Well, did your mommy ever hang out with them too?
No, she didn't like him at all. She would kick him out of the house, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, she did not like him at all.
Good. Okay, well, I love you.
Oh, Vladimir, that's really sweet. I don't know if we're at that stage yet, but thanks, pal.
Sit back, goddammit.
No.
Okay. Mwah.
You watch as this figure just goes. The tug on your intestines loosens, and you can feel yourself kind of your own accord feel stabilized.
Alright. Well, boys, apparently there's some shit happening with dragons and fays.
Leaf.
They know stuff. Just catching y'all up, you know.
For sake of brevity, you can relay all the pertinent information you'd like to them. So,
Okay. 1.
We got it.
or yeah, no,
We got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to, but
Y'all know everything.
yeah.
Okay, guys, we got all the things we
We got all
got.
the things accomplished. Well, I assume everyone's going to bed for the night.
Yes.
Yeah, we're very much done for the night.
Who's watch?
Cool. I'll take first watch, I guess.
Okay. So the rest of you fall back asleep as the still slowly moving nighttime is passing. Go ahead and make a perception check as the rest of you go to bed.
13.
13. And are you where you go? Are you back in your
I'm just sitting
car,
there.
or are you just
Outside of the car.
yeah? As you sit down, kind of relax. Are the torches still up, or have you removed the torches?
I took them down.
Yeah.
Dark.
Do you have dark vision?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are still able to see the carnage that has ensued
Yeah, it's
in
just
the car.
blood and carnage.
It's a lot. There's a lot of blood, and you watch as the carcasses of the larger dogs, the larger two-headed death dogs, begin to start decomposing fairly quickly over the few hours of your watch, and different bits of their skin kind of melt into the ground until eventually you just see a few bones. It's fairly quick. It's fairly quick. And maybe it takes about a little over an hour for this process to transpire.
In this time,
Yeah.
I would like to use my hunter sense so I can detect fiends, infernals, and fae up to 60 feet.
up to 60 feet. Nothing seems to be other than this small fade presence that you sense from Vladimir. Everything else seems to be of this plane, of the material plane at the moment, including the dogs themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm not in there.
But as your
White.
as your shift passes, you are able to watch the sun slowly begin to rise as we are on the 4th day of your journey to Dire Marsh, the 4th of your 5th day to Dire Marsh. Everyone can go ahead and take a long rest, so you all gain hit points and spell slots and all that fun stuff.
Thank you,
All that
Jesus
smooth
Christ.
jazz.
All the
Um,
way at 60.
After a very hard-fought battle against a pack of wolves led by 2 death dogs.
Thank goodness I got all these hit points back.
Ooh, it took a lot of damage
The
there.
spells that you're more concerned with.
Yeah.
The hut begins to melt.
Oh, so then you better can you make a quick 10?
Do it.
So can we make a quick 10 break after this? Good
There's
point, good
a
point right now.
the morning of your 4th day begins. We'll go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick 10-minute break.
Everybody can use
Stretch
the
your,
potty.
stretch your legs.
Use the latrine and stand up because Jesus, my legs are.
Yeah,
That was a solid
I have to
5
dip.
points.
Do you have to leave, sir?
Yeah, so.
What would Vladimir be doing?
Yeah.
Casting the hut at the night.
Pretty much.
And we're more likely
Informing people who need to
Just being factual.
somehow get to another dimension.
Well, we're working our way to the next town currently. We should make it. We'll probably make it by the end of the night.
yeah. Once you get to Dire Marsh, is there anything that you'd like to do in the town?
Look for enchanters and or spell books that can help me.
I can inform you that with where we're heading, it's not a very large town. You might find a couple of magical items and maybe a few eclectic collectors in the
It's a
town.
town,
But you're not going
it's
to
a town
find
outside.
like some ramped up mage who's just like, you're not going to find Pumat's soul. I mean, you could.
But
It is
we will-
branded.
We'll keep an eye out.
I'll keep an eye out for you. You're looking for something for planar travel, correct?
See.
What plane?
It was the Shadow Realm.
You were wanting to go to the Shadow Fair?
Yes. That.
Oh, so badly do I not want to go to Shadowfell.
Good to know.
I do.
Yes, I just marked down that.
Alright. It's been lovely, boys.
Thank you for
It's
saving,
nice meeting you so
thank you for
badly.
saving my arse.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like whole pew pew, make the pew pew pew, whatever.
The public
Yeah.
thrusting. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good public thrust with precision.
Bye bye.
Till next weekend.
Take
Bro.
it easy, bro.
You too.
I need some.
I only had like 4. I think I'll be fine, dude. I'm gonna try to fucking.
Dude, you're on a fucking roll today, dude.
26.
Yeah,
that was like
20.
I think I must have rolled 4 natural 20s in that encounter. That was ridiculous.
And all that.
Yeah.
I still blame Badger.
Dude, if I didn't hit you those times, you would have not have been on deathbed.
I mean, you only hit
Honestly-
once, but that was still.
No, honestly, like, because it was a 9, so on that last hit, at anything, I'll maybe walked out with 1 HP.
Yeah.
Because of that last swing.
Would have barely just fucking made it.
Yeah, we're
Hitting
gonna
the horse. We're gonna shoot.
We can get some.
I was just gonna fucking run it.
I can't wait to find a better job than
No,
Hallmark.
it's not. That is 30
I gotta work there all day tomorrow.
And where?
Fucking Elmon. Luckily though, I get to go home
Get
for a little
break.
bit. Yeah, cause after bar prep, I go like maybe like an hour and a half or so. Like I think like.
Are you coming, sir? Are you okay? Tad.
Yeah, I think we'll probably play for maybe another 30,
Another hour or
45
so.
minutes or so. Yeah. And I haven't used a town sheet in a while. We didn't really use one for Fenrir's Hold because y'all were only in there for like a few things. No. Those wolves almost utterly annihilated all of y'all. I was kind of surprised because they're not super beefy. They're pretty low DC to hit, but
None of them went after me. I kept my distance over here.
you were literally just like, "I'm gonna step in here, boom, all right, I'm out." No, Morty was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna approach him," because I was trying to play it like full pack tactics, where I'm like, right now they're gonna draw him in, pincer attack, and then everyone's gonna rush in and just 3 of them all attacking him on the ground. That was the fact that they were prone was probably the worst part, because that means everything gets advantage on them. But damn, I did not expect for that fight to be so difficult.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was, though. I'm glad there was a bit of a challenge to that. Also, have you picked different spells for? Because you should be getting. You should have a lot more spells. Go ahead and get to the ranger. Yeah. Here, what spells do you have?
Just these two.
Yeah, so you should have at least a few more, because we're at level 6. Level 6, so you know 4 spells. So you know 4 first level, and 2, or I'm sorry. So 4 first level, and 4 first level spots. So in your first level, draw 4 circles, because those are going to be your spell slots. And every time you use one of those spells, you use up one of those spell slots, and you can just kind of mark it off. Okay, and then in your second level spell slot, you have 2 of those. And you know 4 spells, so you can pick 2 more spells from your ranger spell list. And they can be either first or second level. Let's see. There you go. So you can pick 2 more. Cauldron of Arrows is actually pretty cool. It's like Hail of Thorns, but there are also some utility ones like Goodberry. That's not a bad one, because Goodberry basically creates a berry that acts as sustenance for your party for that day. And all you need, there is a component for it. I forget what it is off the top of my head, but that's pretty good, because at the moment y'all do have supplies, because y'all have been eating all that salted. Y'all have a shit ton of food from all the salted manta ray that y'all got off the boat. And all the explanations for them are in the back as well.
picking 2 or am I picking 4?
You know 4 spells total, so you pick, you should have 4 spells total. Which ones did you pick?
I did Fog Cloud, Spike Growth.
Yeah. Fog Cloud is going to be really cool, especially if you're in there. Ooh, shoot. I meant to do that. Fog Cloud is really cool, especially if you're doing like, if it's night, like right now, if you used Fog Cloud on the wolves, sort of a clutch move. So then they wouldn't be able to see anything. And then what was the other one? Spike growth?
Mm-hmm. Grow spikes out of the ground.
Ooh.
Ready?
That's pretty cool. And it does look like, so I would also go ahead and write next to it because it is a component that you require 7 sharp thorns or 7 small twigs. So whenever you cast it, you use those components.
We having D&D class right now?
Yeah. So you can't cast that unless you expend those components. So for as a suggestion, whenever you're traveling, I would try and forage for those components. And then what else do you have? You have what other spells do you have?
Hunter's Mark and Hail of Thorns.
Hail of Thorns? I don't think Hail of Thorns has anything. What's the other one that you have?
Hunter's Mark.
No. What's the other one that you just took?
Fog Cloud.
Fog Cloud.
Did we level up?
No. He
He
just
never
didn't tell you.
really
Yeah. So I was like, I'm pretty sure you have more than Hail of Thorns and Fog of Hunter's Mark.
I thought it was pretty good.
So does Demetrius have a component pouch then?
The Fog Cloud doesn't require any components. So the only spell that you need or that you need components for is Spike Growth, and it's literally 7 small twigs or small thorns, sharpened to a point. So that's pretty cool. And you just kind of like throw them out, and then they all that kind of shit. So you can, I guess, if you want a small component pouch for that specifically, you can, but they're not. I wouldn't be mad if you just like stuck them in a random pocket, because yeah.
Cool. On my, so I have Tinker's tools.
Yeah.
I'm proficient with them. I was thinking of Roman would have various, little blueprints and bullshit he's thought of. But if someone wanted something, like if he wanted something,
Yeah.
and he wanted to commission me to do it, would that be fine? Depending on what it is, and it wouldn't be anything over the top ridiculous or.
As long as you, this is how I want to. This is how I like doing crafting, and particularly with like inventions. First, you have to create a blueprint for it. Then you have to create the thing. So as long as you create the blueprint, and that's kind of it's dependent on what you're making. So what are you trying to make right now?
We were discussing. It was kind of like a small clip, almost for a hand
Cartridge.
crossbow.
Okay.
That would essentially have like 4 or 5 bolts that you wouldn't have to reload every turn.
So I'd say
I was thinking material-wise, it would be probably a couple bands of iron, small iron ingot hollowed out, springs, bolts. Combined.
that sounds about right. What's your intelligence modifier?
+2.
+2. And what is your intelligence modifier?
+5.
+5.
So between the two of us, we should.
We got some smart folks.
Yeah. So we'll say that would take to design the blueprints for it.
Sorry, +2, sorry.
+2.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was thinking of something else. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
I was like, God damn, you're a smart ass. Jesus Christ. Know thy enemy before you steal from them, I guess.
So that would take probably half a week of continual research. And that's 5 days, a 5-day period of continual research to create the blueprint for it, and then it'd be an hour divided by your intelligence modifier to tinker it. So you have to spend 30 minutes to tinker that thing.
To actually make it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So essentially 5 days and then 30 minutes on that 5th day to do it. And that's 30 minutes a day continuously.
Of working on it.
Yeah.
Which I'll probably just do at the end of the night on my watch.
Exactly. Cool. Well, morning of your 4th day. As you wake up along the road, the tiny hut disappears, and you all look around at the bloodbath that was just a few hours ago. A quite uproarious fight between these beasts. As morning comes, there is a little bit of morning snowfall that kind of covers up, and there's a small layer of snow that is now covering the carcasses of these wolves and these strangely, very quickly decomposed two-headed dogs. You watch as Roland is kind of busy checking his cart, making sure everything is tied down appropriately to continue on the journey. Is there anything you'd like to do before the morning continues with your first leg of your journey?
Oh, well, I'm tying the horses down and setting everything up. I informed that one person can ride in the back, one person can ride with me on the cart.
We're going to town, correct?
Yes, it's about another day and a half. So
Alright, let's go straight. Come on, no delay. Let's go.
He's like, I just want to get on the road. I do not like this place.
Y'all watch as Badger literally just starts running.
Just this fast fucking thing.
Man.
He's got places to be.
I'll
Potions,
run up from
weapons, I'm just yelling.
Everybody on?
closer to the
Yes.
So Badger, with you being out in front, go ahead and make a perception check for me as you were.
I'll be walking.
I think I had a plus 2 or 3.
On the side.
I won't be
I think I had a
So you're
plus 2
up
for
with me?
perception.
Yeah, I'm pacing with the
11?
horses.
Mine 11.
Okay. So as you all continue on for the first couple hours of your journey, you do spy. You aren't able to make out too much detail. You do see maybe a handful of families that appear to be moving southward, passing you along the road as y'all head northward. Yeah. Y'all are headed north, and they are passing you headed south in the direction of Fenrir's Hold. You see maybe pretty standard family units, not particularly haggard, and not particularly well off either. They just seem to be leaving and existing and moving on their way.
Okay, fair enough.
Nothing really transpires to really catch your attention. You do see maybe a handful of soldiers as well in the telltale red cloaks of the Belastian troops who have been moving, that you had seen back in the encampments in Kosh and on the road down from Calhaven to Kosh as well. They appear to just be infantry. You do see maybe a couple of horses, mounted units. All told, throughout the day, throughout the entire day's travel, you see maybe about 50 or 60 soldiers who are kind of passing you northward. They're moving at a faster pace and are heading north to likely Benivitz, past Dire Marsh. Is there anything you would like to do the rest of your day before we get to nightfall on the 4th day?
Well, if someone would take over the car, would you like to take over the car?
I'm sure. These trees along the way.
Yeah.
We would drill a message to just like beware of that house.
Okay. Go ahead and make an nature check for me real quick.
I might change it if you don't need.
Food. The entire party has salted manta ray back from.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll have them in the front and kind of slowly chow a good chunk of that. And,
Yeah.
You know, kind of just
It's like jerky now.
It's pretty
Yeah,
much
it's
jerky
kinda
at
like
this
mush,
point.
and it's like-
It's not particularly tasty at this point as it has been sitting, and it's in. You can tell it's getting to a point of
Yeah, it's probably got.
getting bad.
We're gonna need to get food soon.
But yeah, luckily there's a town that's maybe a day's travel away at this point. And what do you? So would you?
Ocho. 8.
Okay.
The Ocho.
The Ocho.
As you are moving around and you are carving all these signals and glyphs in some of the trees, I'm assuming.
Oh, just like one kind of like passing by.
Yeah.
So when if like someone can like glance and neutral the pillars.
There are, and as you are, that is good to mention, as you are getting further into the Mudlark Valley, you do see, as you're headed northward to your left, is a very thick forest. You can see maybe a couple layers deep into the trees, but other than that, it is just a wall of dark green and black and brown as it expands into this vast forest. And it also is a small incline as it reaches the crest to a hill. You can kind of see maybe about 120 feet into the forest until there's a sharp incline. To your right, you see further off on the horizon, you see the small foothills and rising mountains.
So we're long past that lake.
The lake is no longer on the horizon. The lake is further back.
Traveled.
And as you are walking along as well, on the road that you're on right now, the road is pretty well cobbled, and there's plenty of gravel as well to maintain a sense of civilization. But if you take a few steps off the path, your foot kind of sloshes and then falls maybe about 3 inches into the earth as you're getting into swamplands of the Mudlark Valley. But you are able to find a tree that you carve a little symbol into. It's not particularly great. And as you're carving, you kind of look over at the base of the tree. And you see a very interesting looking stone. It looks to be a fairly black stone, mostly black with a few, and it's pretty brown.
It's interesting, so I guess it's like totally different from rocks around.
Not necessarily different, it just seems to kind of catch your eye. You're not quite sure what about it catches your eye as you reach down, pick it up. Nothing happens. It's a cool rock. You like to keep it, you can keep it, but you got a cool rock.
Just gonna chocolate choices.
You just kind of
Kind of like skip properly, because I'm like, try to skip properly.
It like sticks in the ground. Yeah, it kind of sticks. It's like a big patch of sod as it kind of.
Because I'm thinking, anything black, I'm not.
It's probably evil.
As you continue on for the remainder of your 4th day, you eventually reach the end of the day as the sun sets one more time, and you pull off the side of the road and you make camp in a very heavily wooded area at the moment. It's pretty heavy canopy at the moment. Tall trees, not very. It's not so much that the canopies themselves are expansive, it's that the sheer volume of trees per square inch, square foot, is so immense that all the relatively thin branches and trees create this expanding canopy around you, over top of you. So very little sunlight had reached through to the ground floor where you were. And now there is very little moonlight. As the cloud cover is not so much that the starlight and the moonlight can't pierce through the veil, but it is about half the light that you would normally have.
So like some little small beams of moonlight.
A little bit.
Peeking through random.
Yeah. So you pull off to a relatively nice, secluded side.
Almost kind of like this one.
Almost like this one. I think ahead. You pull off, setting up a very similar site right next to the cart. Vladimir sits down and whips out his dick and a singing bowl and begins ritual casting leave this tiny hut. It's not a great sight, but is there anything else you would like to do to prepare for your evening? Anything else you would like to do?
Two things I would like to do. One, while everybody's doing whatever they're doing, I'm going to be in the back of my cart, and I would like to come back. Like I'm just passing
Yeah,
out.
Like half a manta ray jerky strip is in your mouth.
Thinking back on what Zarek said, I would like to inspect the piece of glass that he handed me.
Okay.
And see if I notice anything special about it, if any different in any way, or
Make an investigation check.
so it's such a cool idea for these. But this works.
11. Seems like a piece of glass that looks like it had been for some sort of glass pane. Potentially, it doesn't look like it's not particularly reflective. Yeah, it's just a piece of glass that seems to have broken off from a window pane at some point.
Well, it seemed like he was telling the truth, but I don't know.
As you hold it, are you're just
Yeah,
investigating it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, he would, thinking back on the battle, would begin drawing up plans for small little magazine.
So for the next 30 minutes,
I will take the first watch as well if everybody's not doing
Yeah, I'm
anything
just-
and everybody's going to sleep. I'll
Take
take
the fuck
I'm
out.
just
I'll take the
passing
first
out.
watch and work on this and roll a perception check.
Easily enough. Go ahead and roll a perception check for that as well. Roll a perception check and then a subsequent
Well, the
intelligence
perception check is an hour. So because I'm working on my papers.
Go ahead and make an intelligence check for me as well.
What's 7?
After being mauled the previous battle, I'm gonna ask him to inspect my armor.
Inspect your arm.
Yeah, my armor.
Your
I've
armor.
I've been mauled by 3 fucking direwolves past things, so I'm like.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's not difficult to see.
upon looking at it, I would just safely say that once we get to town, you will need to purchase some new armor. There's nothing I can do for this.
Oh, okay.
I'm not an armor smith at all.
Man. I'm just chilling, man. Getting string in here.
That's no on the intelligence check. We're putting away the metal dice because it's rolled
Just nope.
bad. Or not even.
Okay.
It's a 9 on the perception.
Okay. 1 second. Okay. Real quick, who failed your Constitution saving throw against the dogs? I know you did.
I didn't know concepts.
You didn't do a con save.
I
Did
did
you?
not strengths.
Did you fail?
No, he brushed them all off.
I think
I succeeded.
You
I
succeeded.
think no
I'm the only one who failed.
No one had raven.
Okay. Go ahead and put somewhere on your next to your Constitution saving throw. Put a little X.
Disadvantage on those now.
No, just as a reminder. All right. Bedtime. As everyone comes to rest for the evening, you are tinkering away. Did you make an intelligence check for me?
Yeah, it was bad.
What was it?
It was a 1.
A 1?
Oh my.
And that one was a legit nat 1. The other one was a 7.
No.
Or was it? Well, which one was the perception check?
7.
7. Okay.
So it was a +2, so 9.
Gotcha. Yeah, you aren't quite sure where to begin with this.
I don't have any materials. I'm just like.
You're just trying to conceptualize and think it into existence, and this distracts you for pretty much the entirety of your watch.
Yes.
And
Really good at this, boys.
you feel
You're distracted.
incredibly focused on this. I need you to go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw for me.
15.
15. Okay.
Oh shit, now what's going on? Why is he rolling? Oh Jesus.
So your max hit points are reduced by 10.
Oh, wait. Excuse me?
You, as you are focusing, you kind of feel this sickening
Fucking
gurgling
stomach
in your
hurts.
stomach. Yeah, it's like you have this kind of acid reflux
I
feeling.
felt like I had to shit.
Yeah, you kind of have the.
But you can't shit.
It's the what was it the spins?
Yes.
Yeah. You
My
kind of feel a
stomach
little
is-
bit of that.
Doing somersaults and I need to shit and I can't.
And then
God.
and then it passes. And you kind of catch your breath for a second, but you feel drained. You feel drained.
That's actually.
And the evening passes. Who's gonna take second watch?
Well,
Alright, so roll a perception check for me.
Can do it.
9.
9? Okay. As Romand, this mysterious figure who you do not really know, kind of pushes
Just
you
nod
away.
at you while we walk by. I'm like, yeah, half asleep, looking at papers.
Yeah.
Nothing's written on them.
Lots of drool just kind of
It's like,
the faintest
I'm pale.
smell of like shit and vomit on him.
it's bad time.
yeah.
I don't look like I'm doing good.
You eventually take Perch. Are you going to stay inside the hut, or are you going to go ahead and get outside of the hut? You can see outside the hut. You can, as you're inside, you can still see everything on the outside. But
No, I'll go outside.
you're going to go outside. All right. You find a small perch nearby, and you spend the next couple hours just kind of surveying everything. You follow what looks to be a small rat that catches your attention. It seems to gain most of your attention throughout. You kind of catch yourself every maybe 10 minutes or so, kind of thinking, I should probably keep track of everything else. And then the rat kind of does something funny, and you kind of watch it keep moving on. Again, luckily, nothing seems to approach you in the night. As the dawn of the 5th day comes.
Bum bum.
Yeah.
That was my Zelda reference for the episode.
Yeah. It's the 5th day. Y'all are free to begin your journey again. Is there anything you'd like to do in the morning?
Go straight to the town.
Again, Badger just spreads
You're
off.
just,
And
okay.
And then once we get there, I go.
You go straight to the bar.
Okay, so I know I have a fuck ton of money, so I go first buy a bottle of expensive wine or whatever,
Okay.
and then I go buy potions and a
It's
shield.
20 gold
And a
worth of
shield.
wine.
Yes.
No weapon.
If you could find like a really nice two-handed weapon for me, and it's fine. Like I have like 7.
If I find a nice two-handed weapon, I won't get you a shield. Because you
Okay.
can't.
Yeah.
There'd be no point.
That's true. Fine with me. Yeah, have a great day.
Have a good one, man.
Alright.
Take it easy.
Go ahead and someone make a perception check for him. He's getting off.
We should have went with yours. 3.
What is it better?
He's moving double pace, so he's currently, we'll say he's at a disadvantage for that too, but he is full on sprinting. You kind of lose track of a Badger after midday passes. But the morning passes with virtually little,
Damn it, I don't have
little
Doggy
resistance.
fixed. That's the name.
Solid. I get that reference.
Damn it!
And yeah, pretty much most of the day passes with little resistance, as you notice that there is a bit more guard presence here. As you get further into the Mudlark Valley, your foot, even on the road, begins to slosh just a little bit as the sheer moisture level in the air is, it's palpable. It's like
Florida.
moving through. It's like Florida, but but instead of warmth, it is cold.
Oh, it's just cold Florida.
It's
It's like
freezing
Florida on fucking February
Yeah.
morning.
We're in the swamp, so it could be
It is,
Louisiana.
yeah, it is a very cold swamp. As you're moving through just this cold, soupy air,
We're in swamp.
you feel your
It's
muscles.
3 days after Katrina.
Yeah, you feel your muscles trying to just push your way through the air, and you do feel this resistance in the air. It doesn't slow you down, but you do. You feel some sort of
You
exhaustion through
definitely
this.
feel it coming in the air tonight.
Yeah,
You said it, you let it up.
You stopped.
No. As you pass by, maybe every couple of miles or so, you see a small house just kind of dotting the road. There's a small cluster. The first one that you see is kind of off to the off of the west side. So on the forest side of the road, not on the swamp side. On the forest side of the road, you see maybe a small cluster of 4 or 5 houses. One of them appears to be a little bit of a 2-story shack. It's still very small. And on the second story, you see that there is a window that kind of wraps all the way around, and you see maybe 3 not too heavily clad, but pretty armored soldiers. They're not wearing any of the iconic red cloaks of the polished infantry or troop. They appear to have what appears to be like a green mantle covering what you guess to be scale mail, and then a small helmet with a nose piece that runs all the way down and covers the chin as well. It covers it's a full helmet, and it covers the jaw, and there's a small or there's an eye slit that kind of goes from about right here to here, so you can see their eyes and a little bit of their cheekbone, but there is a nose guard that connects with the kind of chin strap as well. It's almost like a football helmet, but it's just a regular soldier's helmet. You see these figures kind of peering out at you. You see that one of them has, as you walk up maybe about 60 feet away, you can finally see that one of them has an arrow knocked and is kind of tracking you. And then once they see, just kind of a little nod.
It's just me, boys. I'm back.
Oi, what's your business here?
Coming back from Fenrir's Hold.
Alright. You be safe here in Dimarsh. There's lots of shit happening. Lots of troops going around, lots of shit.
Beasts in the swamps.
Well,
all kinds of stuff.
Well, there's always beasts in the swamps. That's why you don't go in the swamps.
Well, we had to get here, but where would be a good place to park our cart and horse?
You could probably go outside the city. There's the roadhouse. It's right by the entrance to the roadhouse. I knew you were thinking
I'm so fucking pumped right now. Patrick Swayze's gonna be in this fucking bitch.
I knew you were thinking it.
Yes.
There's a small house there at the head of the street. Once you get into the Meeting district, but yeah, I should probably help you out. I've been needing to sneeze for like 10 minutes. It's so
fucking
painful.
do it.
It's so painful.
Yes!
Oh my gosh.
I would like to state on the side note that I'm gonna start asking you who would you cast as this person?
As who?
Like anytime we meet an NPC that I think is mildly important, I'm just gonna be like, who would you cast this as? And you could use the most like Sarah McLachlan on crack, and I'd be like, okay, I get that.
This guy looks like a really skinny, gaunt, underfed. Oh shoot! I just had his name. Ben Affleck.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Like Ben Affleck if he would have got the machinist role.
Exactly. instead of the other Batman actor. Exactly. But you watch as his comrades in the what appears to be just this guard tower, this really haphazardly made, rough-hewn guard tower, are all of their attention is into the forest.
Yeah.
But his attention is on the road itself, and you see maybe 3 or 4 other houses beside these that appear to be, your best guess, a 20 by 20 shack. And then there's a small kind of kettle over a cauldron fire that's going in the center of these kind of horseshoe-shaped array. And you see this same setup maybe every 5 miles until you get to, in the early afternoon, you get to what appears to be a larger one. And there's what appears to be a small, about 100 feet off, you can see a small wooden gate
Outrageous boys.
that sits in front of the. It just kind of sits in the middle of the road. As you kind of.
Just-
it's right.
It's like somebody started something in The Sims and then just gave up.
It's,
They're like,
it looks a little bit like that. It doesn't appear that this provides
Like that
too
country
much
where
protection.
You only have the gate on the road. Fuck that.
yeah, but actually having a fence, you just have the gate on the road.
It's-
You're like,
That-
well, they won't go around the fence. They won't go around the gate, man.
with the terrain being how it is.
You're not gonna get a cart around
If
it.
you try and put a cart through the west side of the gate or the forest side of the road, you've got maybe about 15 trees that are acting as a makeshift fence. And if you try and go off the east side on the swamp side, you're just gonna stick in the mud. So they were pretty wise, to your best guess, to just put a
Man-made
gate
fences.
there. But you see that this is the gate is currently open, and you see there are 2 guard towers that are flanking either side of the gate. You see a similar setup of these same clad guards. All the arrows knocked.
Hey, we've already spoken to the other ones up there. We're just heading on to the roadhouse.
Well, I'll fall at the roadhouse.
Would you happen to know any like equipment shops or anywhere we could re-up as we continue our way down the road?
There's a couple. You try Goldman's. It's got a general good shop. You got Corby's if you got some leather that needs reworking. Corby's pretty good. But if you're looking for any beds, you should try the Mellow Marsh. It's got the softest pillows in all the kingdom, so they like to tell them. But
That's pretty chill.
yeah, you enjoy your time in Dire Marsh. Don't go in the marsh. It will be dire. Why we call it that?
Profound, sir.
No, I think so.
About how much further up the road do we have?
Another couple hours, you should get there by nightfall.
Yes, well, that's all the questions I have for you, good sir. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, try and stay clear of the Gloom Bowl district. Lots of attacks in that area.
Just a gloom bowl.
Yeah, the Gloom Bowl. Yeah, try and stay out of that district. There's a lot of attacks. If you're not looking to get involved with anything shady or seedy.
We've been known to lend a hand or two to cities in need. Who would we talk to in town for work, possibly? Anything that may need.
We could try and talk to Lord Brurad. He likes to hire people, and
I just wrote down Lord Boo Radley.
Boo Radley. Boo! Hey, look at that solid To Kill a Mocking. No, not To Kill a Mockingbird. Is that To Kill a Mockingbird?
Yeah, it is.
I'm like, you got it. I'm like, I don't know why you're second guessing yourself, but please tell me what you're gonna say, because I'm excited to hear it.
No.
Like, you're gonna say flowers for Algernon? Please say flowers for Algernon.
That's a solid flowers to Algernon. Or whatever. I'm just gonna.
What was the name of that fucking mouse in there?
Algernon.
Was it Algernon? No, I thought that was the dude's name. That's the dude's name. What's the mouse's name?
It was Algernon.
The mouse was Algernon. It was, What was the guy's name? Welcome to our D&D podcast, where we talk about. We're talking about.
On a side note, my character's casting is I'm like 30-year-old Dan Aykroyd on fire.
Yeah. If you literally just like take his.
If
hair,
you took 30-year-old Dan
and
Aykroyd
you
and
changed
just
the
made it
color
on
of his
fire.
hair. I see that. You could also talk to Sir Walish. He's in the Tri-Square. You can't miss it. Just head up the road, head up Mudlock Road, and you'll find it.
I'm just Elvis, Tom Holland.
Say Elvis Tom Holland. Bad. Who are you? Give me your. Who are you casted as? Slew of actors. First one to pop in your head.
Let's just think of someone loose.
Did someone just die outside?
No.
There's like a.
Who are you?
Fred.
Fred who?
Just Fred. No, Fred from Scooby Doo.
Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Fred
Yeah.
Stuffington.
No, like your.
Yeah, if
If one actor was your character, who would it be?
Oh, I don't know.
Like
Like
I look like 30-year-old Dan Aykroyd on fire.
I'm Elvis, Tom Holland.
I say just stick with Fred from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, just Freddie Prinze Jr. from Scooby-Doo.
You're Freddie Prinze Jr. He's doing that Star Wars right?
What you got? Giving you 30 seconds to think on it.
He's
I'm
like,
not going to give you one.
You're Steve from Blue's Clues now. Congratulations.
well done.
No, Joe.
No,
You're not even that fucking cool. You're Joe.
Joe, yeah, this is a shitty version.
I always hated you. I always thought you were a cock.
Anyway, you be safe now. Well,
Good day, sir.
As you pass on through the gate, you notice that riding up very quickly behind you, you'd seen a few of this. You've seen some of this happen yesterday and a couple of days prior. Mounted troops in red cloaks, going full speed ahead of you. As they kind of brush past, you hear some small horns, and they're basically essentially yelling for y'all to make way. Pull off the road as they're.
Jesus Christ, you people are rude.
Y'all pull off.
I'll slightly pull over. I'm not going into the swamp at all. They can kiss my fucking ass.
As they kind of skirt past y'all, you can see some of them just kind of
Give me the eye.
yell a little bit and swear some words in Elvish, but they eventually sprint further
I
off.
swear back, I'm primordial.
You see one of them just kind of.
What the fuck was that noise?
But you see maybe
It's like
about
a-
you see maybe about 30 or so mounted riders.
Fuck you guys.
Maybe more. That's more like it.
So with that, the 5th day draws to a close, and you eventually make your way to the outskirts, the southern side of Dire Marsh.
Oh, we got a fucking map!
Welcome,
Ooh.
I was a bigger city than I thought.
welcome to Dire Marsh.
oh shit. Okay.
To-
It's the south end, so it's this end.
Yeah.
So
We're
y'all
coming
going
up from
to
here.
the south.
This was the bad place we were told not to go.
Further up. There we go.
Of course, it'll be the what? The east side.
What's two?
If you'd like a pointer, you can do that.
Yeah.
Why?
What is two?
So as y'all are riding up, you see.
So it would be the first thing I see on my left.
Yeah, the first thing you see on your left is what looks to be a small stable. You see a few kind of middle-aged humans, couple men, couple women, kind of wrangling some horses and tethering them and untethering them from carts and wagons, getting them ready for journeys, and then stabling horses as well. It seems to be a fairly large stable, and this is off to the left side. The forest extends further back. You do see off to the west, kind of the northwest side of the city. You see, and it's not shown on the map because I wasn't able to get it on the map because stupid. You see the tail end of what looks to be a very large river. And off to the west as well, you see the small incline that you had been tracking along your journey has risen into these massive peaks. And you basically see 2 peaks, and in the valley is where that river is. So as you are looking off to your left above the city for these 2 massive peaks, to your right you see almost dipping down, you see that the eastern side of the city sits on a bit of a plateau, and then there's an immediate escarpment that dips down into this bowl-like
Little
swamp.
seed here.
After that, that's where the city ends. That's where the swamp begins. There's basically swamp and then a massive cliffside, and that's where the eastern side of the city is right here. Basically, everything from here over is just a drop. That drops maybe about 60 to 80 feet, and
That's
then
what I'm talking about.
a bowl that just extends as far as your eyes will see, which is not very far, as everything else to your right as you look off to the east side of the city is just fog. It is just this thick, cold, somewhat snowy fog. And That's the marshes of the Meltark Valley. But yeah, you get up to you see that the fog has rolled in and is now covering most of the town as well. You do see bits of darker elements of smoke that you're able to surmise is probably from fires that are going in the streets to keep everything lit and to combat the thick darkness, which, as it is drawing to nighttime and it being in the winter, it's already pretty dark as well. Those without dark vision are having a difficult time seeing past the little bit of light that is coming from the cart within. But as you pull up to this stable, you do see that a few stable hands are running out. Hello, travelers. We can stable your horse, stable your cart.
This the roadhouse?
Yes, this is the roadhouse.
This guy looks like Patrick Swayze.
No. This one like this.
This is a younger guy.
This is a younger guy. Looks like he's about 15 or so. I could go get my dad if you want to talk to my dad.
I would like to talk to the proprietor, yes.
Yeah, let me go grab him. You see him kind of run back up, and you see this this taller, more chiseled, robust-looking man turn around to face what you assume to be his son, and you see walking towards you this 80s action hero star.
Yes, bro.
The hair.
You see Patrick Swayze walking up. His hair is kind of it's a little bit longer to fit the medieval times.
Loving it.
Tied back into a fairly tight ponytail. This chiseled jaw has a little bit of a scruff on it as he walks over to you, and you see there's plenty of bits of sweat on him as he's been working throughout the day, and he's right outside is a large brazier with a thick roaring fire going right now, keeping everything warm. Most of the snow in this area has melted away. Though there is a little bit of a snowfall going right now. Thank goodness you have the cloaks, otherwise you would actually be very, very cold right now.
Thank you, Santa.
But you see this figure come up.
Yes, sir.
Can I help you?
Yes, well, I would like to house my cart and horse here, but my cart has very, very important things that I will probably stop by and look at every once in a while.
That's not a problem. I can do that for you. Cool. I pride myself on being a fiercely loyal patron, and I do not let anyone touch my client's property.
That sounds wonderful. How much to house the cart here?
Well, how long are you staying?
At the time we're not sure, but I would be glad to pay up for. How long do y'all think we'll be here?
What's the daily rate?
It's 1 silver a day.
Oh, we'll just here's 5 gold, sir. Keep a good eye on our stuff, and you can keep the change whenever we come back.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very generous.
You're a great guy.
You're a great
We'd like
guy.
you to be a.
What's your name?
Name's Roman.
Oh, that's good.
You, sir.
Pat. You can just call me Pat.
Pat, the owner of Roadhouse. This is the greatest moment of my D&D career. Getting to talk to. Patrick
Anyway, my son's gonna take your horse and he's gonna walk your cart over. And once again, we pride ourselves on being. I have a lot of guards who come in here and keep a close eye on everything. So
anywhere we should look out for in town? Anyone we should steer clear of?
no, I mean we're a pretty tight knit community. Not too many people know about Dire Marsh. I would steer clear of Kin Swamp to the east. If you're looking for a rough time, I'd stay clear of Kin Swamp. That's about a day and a half's ride east into the swamp.
But he doesn't know anyone in town we should steer clear of.
Nah, we're a pretty tight knit community. You gotta survive out here in the swamp, you know.
Do an insight on that.
Let me get a
Something
check.
like this town's out in the middle of nowhere. There's gotta be some skeezy motherfucker who lives here.
Shit.
That's 13.
He seems to be pretty honest.
Danny Patrick's.
Yeah. You do notice as he's saying this, you see that the people around him, which appear to be different stable hands, all appear to be fairly jovial. fairly content with their work. So they
We actually came across a nice person.
they take your cart and they begin moving it. Is there anything you'd like to get out of the cart?
Well, I'll get my papers for my blueprints that I had started. I will grab the sack that Zarek had given me,
Okay.
and my materials to make 2 more ash balls. So,
Okay.
well, I guess I could get brazier ash from anywhere.
True. Yeah, that as you are looking, you do see that maybe every 15 feet or so,
Yeah,
there's just a small torch lit or a small brazier. There aren't many as big as the one in front of the roadhouse, but there are a few that dot, and it does create this very, very ominous, chilling, almost terrifying visual.
In my eyes,
array.
everything was like Bloodborne.
It's very bloodborne.
Yeah, like.
There's a thick fog that prevents you from seeing maybe 30 feet past you, and in between all of that is snowfall, thinner fog that is just thinner by proximity to it, and it's also there's also this thick smoke coming up from the braziers and torches lit around town. Yeah, it's a very ominous looking city.
Well, one last question. Oh, go ahead. One last question before we leave Sir Patrick Foisey. Where can we find the Mellow Marsh?
The Mellow Marsh. Yeah, that's gonna be in the Meaden district. That's gonna be this one right here. It's number 6.
In Roadhouse here is number 2, right?
Yeah. No. So that's the roadhouse is not actually on there. It's just one of those first buildings. Directly past that, you do see what is number 2. That looks to be a 2-story. You've seen buildings that look. You've seen a building that looks like this before.
Oh God.
It actually instilled. Well, actually,
I would not have any idea what you're talking about.
have you been to has
I
Roman
mean,
been to
he's-
Calhaven?
Yeah, he's been to Calhaven.
Then Roman would recognize this. This actually instills a little bit of hope in you. You recognize this as a temple to Koyer. This was the Koyer is the god whom Brother Olberog served back in Calhaven. So these are the healers and wish granters of the community. So this does instill a little bit of hope that this is a civilized town, and this is a town where people fight against the darkness of the night. That is where we're going to end it for tonight.
Cool beans.
Yeah, you made it to Dire Marsh.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you have to have hope in the
We have
swamps.
at the current moment we haven't even made it into town, and I have at least 3 names written down for us to go get side quests from.
Side quest, side quest, side quest.
I really hope one of them is to go just wipe out an entire fucking tribe of kobolds or something.
Well,
Maybe not kobolds. I guess we're in a swamp, so it'd be more like gnolls and goblins and hobgoblins
some
and
fun stuff.
Damn gators.
Well,
yeah, damn gators.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for episode 4 of The Legend of the Streak Swords. Yeah, we'll be back at it again next week. This will be uploaded as usual. And yeah, tune in next week to see what happens in the city of Dire Marsh. On their trek to meet up with everyone else in Beniavitz. They have to stop in the swamp to replenish their supplies, get more stuff, maybe get some
hit
side
level
quests.
7?
Maybe hit level 7, I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much guys, have a good night, and have some good R&R.